The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Pip, pip, cheerio. What a joke. What a disgrace. This team, they're the worst. I hate them. I hate them. Man.
You have to understand the Jet fan in America and what they've gone through the last 13 years and really the last 55 years of not winning the Super Bowl.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I just got back to my hotel room in London. The only thing, just as bad as the Jets' performance in this game today was probably the shit show trying to leave Tottenham Stadium and try and figure out how to get back to where I'm staying. I am just I don't even know how to describe how brutal this game was. This was about as bad of a performance that the Jets put out there in that first half as I've ever seen. Maybe the worst I've ever seen in person, and I've seen a lot of bad football. And then for this team to do what seemingly they know how to do best, give you hope and then crush you, to mount a fake comeback just to blow it at the end there. I mean, it's brutal. It's crushing. I mean, there is no positives from this game that we're going to be talking about here in the monologue. None. This was an unmitigated disaster, and it starts with the head coach. When does this team come out and stick it to another team? Come out and build a lead? When does this team actually go out there and execute early in games? Adam Gase can script the beginning of drives better than Nathaniel Hackett can. I mean, top to bottom, the coaching on this team, I am at my wit's end with it, man. Everything's got to be on the table when this continues to happen. I mean, in the last 2 weeks, check the stat lines for Bo Nix and Sam Darnold, and the Jets lost both those games. If I would have told any Jet fan that Bo Nix would play how he did last week and Darnold would play how he did today, and the Jets would have lost, you would have thought I was crazy when I told you Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback now. These games were not supposed to happen anymore, and they keep happening. They completely no-showed this game. 17-0 to this Vikings team. Are you kidding me? And how many opportunities did the Jets get to get back in this game? Hell, they had a chance to win the game at the end. How many times have we seen Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay in that exact scenario? That was the drive. That's why you got him. And this game ends with him and Mike Williams not on the same page? Are you kidding me? There's no positives from this game. I don't want to hear about Garrett Wilson breaking out. I don't want to hear about, the defense doing what they did. Because you know what? I'll say this about the defense. As much as I love them and respect them, you know what? Don't let the Vikings score any points at the end there to turn this game into a 6-point deficit. Keep it at 3. Instead, they're lining up, Tony Adams or Isaiah Oliver on Justin Jefferson rather than Sauce or DJ Reed. Or they're leaving the tight end wide open in the middle of the field. That can't happen, man. Sam Darnold today was not any good. And you lost to that guy. I was waiting for the patented Darnold interception. They finally got it from who else than Brandon Eccles, who's got their only interceptions this year. Every time this guy has to play, he makes plays. When's Sauce Gardner going to catch a ball that hits him in the hands? All right, this is on coaches. It's on the players. It's on Rodgers as well. He played awful in that first half. Awful. The body language sucked. All of it. I mean, this is not supposed to be happening anymore. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know where you go from here. I mean, it just forget just embarrassing this fan base in the U.S. This was an international embarrassment. And this franchise, I have never meant this more when I say it right now. And I've said this a lot on the show, a lot, since I've been doing this now 4 years. This organization does not deserve this fan base. The amount of Jet fans I met from all over the UK, from Germany, from Denmark, from Finland, and not only watch this show, but they love the Jets. They love this team. And that's the performance you give them. So many of them seeing them for the first time. That's the performance we got. That's how you show up ready to play after that debacle against Denver. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, I am so mad. I'm glad it almost took 2 hours to get home from this game, because if I went live right away, I probably would be demonetized in a second with the stuff coming out of my mouth. I don't have words. I don't have words. You can't be losing these games anymore. And it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. I mean, where's the running attack? I mean, what's happened to Breece Hall? Why can't this offensive line block? Why can't this team pick up blitzes? I mean, honestly, I thought Rodgers was done when he went down. I'm like, this is week 1 all over again. I can't do this in person again. This was a microcosm of the day. You think Aaron Rodgers at age 40 is making it through another game like this? This is now back-to-back weeks. He is getting his ass kicked. And he wasn't good today, all right? He's got to play better. We understand that. But, I mean, part of having Rodgers was, well, you have Breece Hall. You're going to have this running game, and Rodgers is going to be able to manage the game. And I don't say that as a derogatory comment. You didn't need him to be MVP Rodgers. That was the whole narrative with this Jets team, right? You didn't need MVP Rodgers because the rest of the team around him was really good. He would play competently, and they'd be able to win games. Like last week against Denver, where you lost 10-9. And today, you lost 23-17. I mean, what's the difference between this game today and the Mike White game a couple of years ago against the Vikings? What's the difference between last week's game against Denver and the Patriot game at home with Zach Wilson last year? Nothing. We are on Robert Saleh watch. I don't want to be the guy, fire the coach and all that, but I'm sorry. This team loses to Buffalo. They got to do something. There's too much talent on this team. There is. There's too many good players. There really is. You look around this team, you're like, why aren't they winning these games? Why? How are you not winning these games? It is inexcusable. It's on coaching. And look, some of this is on Rodgers too. I get it. Hackett's your guy. He stinks. I think Rodgers' ego is getting in the way. I could prove to you that Hackett's good because he's my guy. Watch this. He's not the same player he was at age 35 anymore. He still, I think, could be good. He still could give you flashes of brilliance. We saw it for a full game against New England 2 weeks ago. But the Hackett call on the show, I mean, this team sucks. They suck on offense. It's not good enough. I mean, the last 2 weeks, the Jet defense has allowed 27 total points and 239 yards passing. They lost both of those games. This offense comes out flat again, and I hate even to rip the defense. It's like they give them a chance, man, and they got absolutely hosed with some of these penalties. They didn't lose because of the refs, but oh my God, was this brutal to watch. DJ Reed get hosed, Sauce with the phantom holding call in the end zone. I mean, total BS. But Sauce is also going to catch that interception in the hands. And Rodgers can't throw a pick six after Quincy Williams makes a great play to recover the fumble, which he should have returned to the house, by the way, and maybe the game is entirely different. But of course, we won't score a touchdown on defense. They will. Oh, I'm so mad. I mean, last 2 weeks, I looked it up, 9 sacks and 21 quarterback hits. Rodgers will not survive the season if this continues. It is unacceptable. I mean, that first half today, it felt like they were down 35-3. They're lucky it was even a game. They gave you false hope. Breece Hall had 4 carries for 9 yards at halftime today. I'm so disgusted with this performance. And everyone that came out to see it, the amazing Jet fans that were there, seriously, blown away by how many fans from all over Europe support this shitty franchise. It's just awful. Awful. I don't want to hear any positives. There are no positives when you're losing these games. This team at the bare minimum should be 3-2 right now. And certainly they easily could be 4-1. When we talked about this season, these were the games that in the past they would lose that you now would win. That was the thought. Saleh in year 4, he's learned. He'll have the team ready. He's got a real quarterback. I fell victim to it. I was wrong. It's the same shit, man. This is why the OG Jet fan, this is why the Beningos of the world, this is why the way they are. Because things change, but nothing changes. Games like this. And I'm sick of it. I am sick and tired of when people ask me about a great Asmaniac weekend. Vegas last year. How was Vegas, Jake? Everything was great. It was amazing until the game started. Jake, how was London? I was having one of the best weekends of my life. London is amazing. People here are great. We had 400 people at our event last night at the Hippodrome Casino. Gangrene UK. Incredible. Helping me put that together. We had Wayne Corbett, Tony Richardson, Lavernius Coles hanging out with us at the event, ripping shots with us. Everything's great until the game started. I'm sick of it. When do we start to actually win? When? When do we get a chance to actually be a good team? It's only been 15 years since the team's been in the playoffs. I mean, if you're Chris Johnson, who's here, by the way, if you're Woody Johnson, how do you watch this and think it's all okay? It's not. I don't want to hear the positives, how they made it the game, they fought back. Should have won the game. Just, I'm so disgusted. You got to stop losing these games, man. When does it end? When? I don't have the answer. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Are we going to talk about Alan Lazard dropping everything? Are we surprised that he makes one great play with Rodgers because Rodgers knows him? I mean, are we going to talk about them basically trying to spoon feed Garrett Wilson as some sort of positive? I mean, there aren't any positives. They're 2-3. Their season's on the line next week against the Bills. That's it. I mean, yeah. Somehow, I'm sure by Sunday, not only the Jets are going to be winning, they're going to win by 10. But I'm not falling for it again. I'm not. Show me. Show me. I can't do it anymore, man. I cannot do it. I cannot watch this team lose like this because it was supposed to be different this year. And it felt like after that Thursday night game, it was going to be different. This coaching staff actually had a good plan that night. They actually came out and threw to set up the run. They took a lead. They played great defense. And just today in that first half, I mean, great, valiant comeback effort. Who gives a flying you-know-what if you don't win the game? Great comeback effort. You shouldn't need to be in that situation in the first place. 17-0. Are you kidding me? I mean, you gave this game to the Vikings. Rodgers literally gave it to him with the pick six. It's just wild, man. And, here's the thing. We have all these stats to point to on Rodgers in his career off a loss. Rodgers against the blitz. You become a Jet, it doesn't matter. Even Aaron Rodgers can't save this shitty franchise, man. It's unbelievable. I can't. I don't even know what to say. I never could have envisioned the schedule they had to start the year to be 2-3. The bare minimum, they're 3-2. 2-3. If they lose to Buffalo, everything should be on the table. And I don't know if changing the coach is going to necessarily fix everything. You got to do something because I still believe there's too much talent on this team. And we've seen teams change the coach before. Rich Bisaccia in Vegas being the recent example I can think of, where all of a sudden they start to play better. Because how many times are we going to allow this team to come out and shit the bed in the first half of games? I mean, it's unacceptable, man. And I'm so angry. I'm so depressed. I don't want to do the same thing that we've lived. Specifically with this regime, the last 3 seasons, now 4 seasons. It was supposed to be different. And look, say what you want about, the offensive line, the weather conditions last week. At the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers had 2 chances to go win the game the last 2 weeks, and he hasn't done it. That sucks. And he's taking a beating. He's still better than anything we've had in forever. But the whole premise of adding Aaron Rodgers was, yeah, he might not be the guy who's going to win the MVP in the league anymore. Okay, fine. We'll give you moments of that, like we saw against New England. The whole premise was you have a great running game. You got Breece Hall. Breece Hall's the best back in the league, man. Breece Hall is going to go out there and he's got 2,000 yards from scrimmage. Just couldn't wait to tell everyone we're going to be a run-first team this year. You know, that's what people inside the building were telling the beat reporters, team sources. We're going to run the ball. You can't do anything. So you're seeing what happens now when you got a 40-year-old quarterback who's taking hit after hit with no running game. The whole premise of the season was you have a great defense, which to the defense's credit, they continue to play their asses off. Today, they're down sauce for a lot of the game. Michael Carter got hurt in pregame, didn't even suit up. No C.J. Mosley today. Made Jeff Ulbricht's out of his end of the bargain. But the whole premise of the season was Rodgers would win you these games when he had to, and he'd have a running game to rely on to keep him healthy, keep him fresh. He threw 54 times today. You think that's sustainable? No chance. I thought he was dead on the field when he went down. I can't, man. I sat there numb. My Apple Watch is going off 7 times in the first half of this game. Oh, you have an irregular heart rate, but it appears like you're sitting down. God, I'm sick of it, man. Darnold turned it over twice today. They did nothing with it. He threw for 179 yards. He wasn't any good. Justin Jefferson didn't kill them today. The only big plays he made were on bullshit PI calls down the field. How do you lose this game? How do you come out 17-0 down? Run, pass, Hackett. Great play calls. Adam Gase could design the opening drives better. Seriously. I mean, it's just unreal, man. Unreal. It's just, yeah, they're still going to be alive going into next week. Last I checked, the Buffalo Bills right now are trailing the Texans, but who cares? And here's what this team is going to do. They're going to try and put the Davante Adams spin on. They'll acquire Davante probably on Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll all be excited again. And then we're going to realize it's still Hackett calling the plays. And yeah, Adams will help. But I have lost complete faith in the talent on this team being able to overcome the concerns we had about the coaches. Because maybe, guess what? We overrated the talent on the team. Because explain to me why Breece Hall is not Breece Hall. Why Sauce Gardner hasn't had the year he's had his first 2 years. It's just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Oh, but Jake, they showed a lot of fight. The second, I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of going on these trips, meeting hundreds of incredible listeners to the show, and thank you all. I know I'm pissed, but I want to make it clear. I've had an amazing time. I met at least 500 different Asmaniacs over the last 3 days. It's been insane. We're on NFL Network this morning. They're showing video from the party the other night of us leading a Jet chant. Like, this fan base deserves more. Way more. I'm sick of it, man. The coaching is not good enough. The whole premise of this season was the talent was going to be able to handle some of the coaching concerns. Thought the Jets would be able to run the ball. They can't even do that. Just disgusting. It's a must win next Monday. If you want any chance of saving your season, you got to win. By the way, let me say this too, because this really pissed me off waiting online to go into Tottenham Stadium. Tottenham. Malachi Corley's inactive. Are you kidding me? And it's not that I'm saying that he would have changed things today. But the Jets couldn't wait to tell everyone. Trust me, I know. I'm in the media. I know how this works. They couldn't wait to tell people behind the scenes. We had him as our 4th best player on our draft board, 4th best receiver. Guy's inactive. Are you kidding me? Also, they finally go to Mike Williams at the end there, and he's on the same page with Rodgers. You couldn't find any other ways to get him the ball before then? I mean, he wasn't even in there on 1st and 2nd down sometimes. That 4th and 4, by the way. These are just the notes I had in my phone and off my brain here. Some other thoughts before we get to the super chats and whatever. Take your calls here. I'm going to drown my sorrows in fish and chips or whatever the hell I should do. The 4th and 3 where they handed it to Braylon Allen. You know who wasn't even on the field for that play? Garrett Wilson. Make it even more obvious, Nate, that you're running the ball up the middle there. I mean, everything, dude. It just... I don't know what to say. I don't have it in me, man. I don't. This is how I feel right now. Thank you all for watching. 1,100 of you tuned in right now. You guys are the best. Hit that like button. Help support the show. Subscribe to the channel. You know, all that. We'll still be here every day despite this shit show today. Brutal. I'm sure there's other things I missed that will come up, but I don't know. I didn't really have notes. I just wanted to tell you how I felt. The stadium's incredible, by the way. To joke how MetLife is a shithole, and that stadium is amazing. The cover you had didn't get rained on once. The sight lines were incredible. I mean, look, once again, everything about this weekend was amazing until the game started. And I am so sick of saying that after these games. When is it our turn to actually win? When do we get to actually enjoy watching our football team play? And you knew they just couldn't get blown out today. No, they had to find a way to mount a fake comeback and lose in the most heartbreaking of ways. I mean, of course. Terrible. Two things that are not terrible. Bourbon, especially if you're a Jet fan, you need bourbon. And the bourbon you can get by checking out Custom Bourbon Tours. Go to Custom Bourbon Tours right now. All right? You guys are all down in the dumps, me included, by the way. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to book your trip right now down to Kentucky so you can enjoy the incredible bourbon distilleries that are all over Kentucky. All right, the Kentucky Bourbon Trail is the place to be. Visit your favorite distilleries by checking out custombourbontours.com. Here's what you need to know. You sign up if you're planning your trip and you choose your vehicle you want to be in. SUVs, sprinters, limo sprinters, buses, even Charles. He could drive you an Uber, all right? Shout out to Charles Gorman. Book an unforgettable experience all in 5 minutes. Custombourbontours.com. Check it out. If you're looking for a trip, they're the best. Liam, the owner of the company, is a Jet fan. Check it out. You guys are going to want to do something fun to try and get over the loss. So check it out, custombourbontours.com. Thank you to them for being a part of our show. Please click that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get to some super chats here. Let me guess. Fire this person, fire that. All right. You're probably right. The Power writes in. The run game changed its effectiveness since Moses went down. Let's not act like this running game was cooking before Moses went down. They were better, you're right. But Breece Hall hasn't been the same Breece Hall once this year in the running game. What's his longest run from scrimmage this year? Like 25 yards? I think against the Titans? I am so deflated, man. What time is it? 8:30 here. Oh, this sucks, man. I really feel for the UK fans here. They're great people, man. Gangrene UK, I want to shout them out. And one of the founders of the club and what he does, the tailgate today at the Redemption Brewery beforehand. I mean, this was such a great weekend. And then the Jets were the Jets. Donnie, Jake Asman crash outs are legendary. Go off. I don't even think I really went off like I normally do. I'm defeated, man. I'm deflated. My voice is shot. I got a flight at 7 a.m. tomorrow. You know, I'm done, man. I'm done. Sports says offensive miscommunication costing you guys 100% need Devontae badly. not going to sit here and act like he wouldn't make them better. He would. But they're not winning shit with his coaching staff. I'm sorry. They're not. I can't defend it anymore. I can't even try to give it time anymore. It's not happening. It's not. They're lucky the AFC is trash. That's the one thing helping the Jets. Conceivably, there's a path for them to be 5-5, 6-5, and they'll be in it in the final months. They're not going to finish 2-15. We know that. But it's games like today and games like last week that even if they beat the Bills on Monday, don't fully invest. Because this coaching staff is incapable of inspiring any confidence that they're not going to have another flat performance the second they get too high. Tyler, super chat, cuts the line. It's finally time to get rid of Keith Carter. Run game's atrocious. Achilles heel of the offense. Rodgers can't pass 50 times a game. They should do something. We're not going to fire the coach or the coordinator. Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what exactly Keith Carter does, but Saleh even said after the game that the running game's not good enough. That's on Keith Carter. I don't know. Would that make a difference? Once again, the whole premise of this season was Rodgers, maybe he's not an MVP, but he'd be good. He'd be competent. You'd protect him. You'd give him a running game so he wouldn't have to throw 54 times. He threw 54 times today. God, I'm looking at the box score now. It pisses me the you-know-what off. Boris says I wouldn't mind seeing more Eccles in the game. He should play every game now because every time this guy plays, guess what? He makes a play. Hey, Sauce Gardner, catch the ball that hits you in the hands. I'm tired of it, man. I love Sauce. He's been a phenomenal player his first 2 years. But for his standards that he set with his greatness, he's about to be a $30 million a year corner. You cannot justify that with how he's played through the first 5 games of the season. Figure it out, man. Figure it out. Not killing him for the BS penalties. I thought that was ridiculous. And by the way, here's what the NFL needs to fix, by the way. I'm talking to you, Roger Goodell. All right? If you go to these games, right, it was a Viking home game today. And, yeah, there were definitely more Vikings fans there than Jets. It was probably 65, 35, 70, 30. They had a lot more to cheer about, too, so it sounded louder on TV, I'm sure. There were a lot of Jet fans there. There were a lot of people that don't know anything about the NFL that were just there because it was something to do. They wanted to see it. You see all the people wearing the random jerseys. It was wild seeing that in person. All over London, you got random jerseys. Here's what the NFL needs to do. They don't show the replay unless it's a pro Vikings play. They should show the replay for everything. You got people learning the game for the first time. It's not a Vikings home game. My ass is a Vikings home game. Vikings had a further trip to this game than the Jets did coming from New York. So I couldn't even see some of this stuff. I had to go on Twitter and try and see if I could get a replay of whatever happened. That pissed me off to no end, too. Everything pissed me off today. Everything. Taking 2 hours to get home. Pissed me off not being able to get an Uber because there's too many people. Everything. God, I'm so mad. Chris, we had multiple chances. We just shit our pants. Yeah, they blew it, man. They blew it. Rodgers had the drive that we've seen him do in Green Bay for 15 years, man. That was the drive. We've never seen him have that opportunity with the Jets. Down 6, 2 minutes, 3 timeouts. Go win the game. And they were 20 yards away from doing it. Felt like it was actually going to happen. But he missed Garrett. They on I think it was a slant and go. I didn't see the route. I didn't watch it back yet. And those two got on the same page today. Great. I'm not giving up on Garrett Wilson. You guys know how I feel about him. But it's not enough, man. Allen Lazard, how many targets is Allen Lazard going to get? And that's on Rodgers too, man. Mike Williams today only targeted 4 times. Allen Lazard's targeted 10 times. How does that make any sense? All right, Breece Hall, you're not having any running holes? Can we target Breece Hall? Can we use him outside? I mean, they get it's awful. Tyrone, until we're out of the playoffs, I will still stand strong on my faith for this team. Go Jets, 55 years, all in. I'm not quitting. Now get a beer on me, Jake. Tyrone, I love you, man. Look, I'm going to be right back with you. I'm telling myself I'm not going to the game Monday, but I'll probably be there. You know how this works. I didn't want to go to London, and then by Wednesday I was on the flight. So, But I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of going on these trips, meeting the incredible people that support this team and obviously support this show, which I'm grateful for. And then they give you that performance that I've seen too many times under this head coach. I'm tired of it, man. I really am. You want to lose to Bo Nix? You better win today against Sam Darnold when he plays like that. I mean, the Vikings have a really good offense, everyone says. The Jets defense shut them down for most of the game, and you still lost. I thought we were past that. And they did that today with Sauce out for a lot of the game. No Carter, no Mosley. Like, I think it was Quincy Williams after the game. He was pissed off. Said, when are we going to hold people accountable? And it sounds like he's calling out the head coach to me. Dylan says, Aaron abused, crap O coaching, dropped touchdowns, killed them. Yeah, I mean, Lazard dropped the touchdown. Not an easy catch. You got to catch it. Oh, you want the people who saying I'm being too negative in the chat. I'm seeing those comments. Oh, Jake, they're right there. Here's a positive. Greg Zuerlein hit his 32-yard field goal. Nice. Neil checks in. No fight. Eccles is the best DB in the room comparing dates to Revis is Neil, what are you, drunk? Pay Reddick and Adams. Forget paying these sorry rookies. No screens, no coach. And then they tried to screen, and Rodgers missed on them. It's just everything was bad today, man. Rodgers played a bad game for his standards. And he took a beating too, man. It's not sustainable. It's not. Chris writes in, tough game, man. Glad I was ever able to at least chop it up with you. Chris, great to meet you yesterday, man. Sorry you had to witness that shit show. Once again, man, we had 400 people at this event last night. And I would say out of the 400 people there, 300 were non-Americans. I mean, it was insane. I thought I was going to meet people also flying from the U.S. to go to this game. No. I met people from here that get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch this team in prime time. I don't know how they do it. I stayed up till 3 in the morning last night to watch the Yankee game, and I don't know how they do it. Leave it to the Jets to ruin the good vibes for the New York teams, by the way. Mets win, great win for them. Yankees steal game 1. And then the Jets are like, watch this. Mark says, we need a leadership change. We need to change an offensive play calls. If we don't change now, we won't reach our goals. Not good enough. I mean, Rodgers made a comment after the game. If the running's not working, we got to throw to open it up. Yeah. How about Aaron? You call the plays and change them all to passes if Hackett's calling runs. I mean, who's that in reference to? Is that on Nate? Because if you're Aaron Rodgers, you should be able to change whatever play you want, I thought. So I don't know what that means. Third man writes in, but didn't Salas say Keith Carter would be better? Yeah, Salas says a lot of things. Unfortunately, he's in his 4th year. Games like this have been happening now for far too long. He's got more talent than he's ever had. Like, I'm sorry. You can't watch this game today and tell me the Vikings are better than the Jets. You can't. They're a good team. They play well enough to win today. How many penalties did Minnesota have, by the way? Well, they have 14 penalties. And the Jets got an absolute gift on that roughing call that they called on Morstead. That was ticky-tacky, I thought. Didn't turn that into any points. I mean, everything just sucked. Mike D's nuts gifted 5 channel memberships. I need a laugh badly because I am in great pain right now, so I'm going to play this. D's nuts. If you got it from Mike, thank him. He's a great man. Ryan with a super chat. I'm hurt. Yes, Hackett sucks. But like all businesses, it starts at the top. The Johnson family has plagued this franchise for far too long. Look, you want to kill the ownership group? Fine. Here's the problem with that. They're not going anywhere. And I don't know what specifically today you're blaming ownership for. See, ownership's job is to hire the right people and stay the fuck out the way. Excuse my language, but I'm fired up. They've given this regime plenty of time. If I own the team, I would fire the head coach and make a change after the Bills game if they lose. Because I still believe there's too much talent for this team at that point to be 2-4. That's what I would do. I'm at that point now. I'm not throwing away another season, hoping and praying that they're going to be able to figure it out. I'm being proactive. I might only have Aaron Rodgers for just this year with the way he's taking a beating this season. Which is shocking because the first 3 games he was pretty much clean. And then today we got this new image. This will be memed everywhere to make fun of the Jets. That's the thing. We can never even lose normally. It's always got to be in the most spectacular fashion that everyone watches. I'm sick of it, man. And I know everyone out there is too. It's bullshit. That's what it is. It is bullshit. And you're tired of it. I'm tired of it. It's enough. Indomitable. I'm too mad to write anything. I'll call in. Feel you. Julio, Rodgers one hit away. Exactly the point I'm making, Julio. That's why if this team loses to Buffalo, I'm making a change. I am. I'm trying because I don't know what next year is right now. And the AFC is not any good. That's what's maddening right now. Even if you lost today, all right, non-conference loss, it would suck. I'll be miserable on my flight back to the U.S. But hey, at least you beat Denver last week, right? I mean, Bo Nix had -7 yards at halftime. You obviously won that game, right? Of course. And it's just like, holy shit, man. When does it stop? The answer might be never. I don't know. Vincent says, I owe Brian Schottenheimer a huge apology. I mean, Brian Schottenheimer's, Kyle Shanahan with the Falcons of OCs compared to Hackett, man. And look, I'm guilty of it. I think, Rodgers would be able to mask a lot of it. And at times, the first 3 weeks, it looked like he was. And then these last 2 games, it's like, holy crap, man. And look, some of it's on Rodgers, too. He didn't play well today. I'm not going to blindly defend Aaron Rodgers because he chose to play for the Jets and try and help our shitty franchise. He's got to be better. But the whole premise of adding Rodgers was he'd have a great running game to help him. You didn't need him to go out there and be MVP Rodgers. We know he's 40. He's still better than anything we've had in forever. And he's still shown you he could play, man. He's giving you the moment. We see it. We know what it looks like. But he's not supposed to throw 54 times in a game. Where's this running game, man? Breece Hall, 2.6 yards per carry. What the hell? I don't get it, man. That's the problem I'm having here. What we thought this team was, they're not. So they're not as good as we thought. The path for this team was built on a lot of what we saw last year without the quarterback. But we couldn't bank on the regression from Breece or Sauce. It's a lot, man. Jonathan says, could Sauce make a big play? Exactly what I'm talking about. We knew Salah wasn't the guy last year. We lied to ourselves. Yeah. Well, you don't want to know why we lied to ourselves, and I'm guilty of this. You knew they weren't going to fire him. So I wasn't going to sit here and say, fire the guy. It's like, I'm not going to get myself angry over something I know is not happening. It was never going to happen. They were always, the second Rodgers went down, the likelihood was this regime was getting a do or die 4th season together with coach and GM. Year 6 for the GM, by the way. It's painful, man. Painful. I mean, they torture you, man. You could, because I know someone's going to call in time and be like, well, look, man, look how close they are to being 4-1 right now. That's the NFL. The teams that find their way to the playoffs, they win this type of game. They win last week. And this team is not good enough to overcome some of the fatal flaws that we're learning are actually fatal. And it's sad. It's depressing. Adam writes in with a super chat. /chunk yardage. Yeah, look, to your point, some of that with Breece is fair. It was never this bad, though. The guy almost had 1,000 rushing yards last year with that O-line and that quarterback situation. C writes in, royal treatment was in effect for Jettis today. That's Justin Jefferson. Mike Will was draped that last throw. No flag. Shitty throw. Get Sauce on the jug machine. Eccles is a baller. We lose next week. Season's cooked. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but week 6, it's a must-win already. I mean, shout out to everyone in the UK, man. All right. All your super chats are going to my steak dinner or fish and chips. Probably fish and chips. I don't know. Gator, great job with the open. Super chat from him. Keys, not going for the field goal. Lazard, Butterfingers. Rodgers, pick 6. Not to mention the BS penalties our cover guys get. This team can't play 4 quarters. No. They played 4 quarters once this year. We may never see it again. We thought, oh, that's the start of things, right? First 2 weeks. Find a way to be 1-1. They did. They got the road win in Tennessee. Now it starts to come together. They've gotten worse. As far as the decision to not kick the field goal, in real time, I was okay with it. I just didn't love what they decided to do with the play call. But once again, man, Aaron Rodgers throwing 54 times in a game where you only scored 17 points. It's an embarrassment, man. And here's the problem with Lazard. He's sometimes the only guy Rodgers trusts. That's almost like why you need Devontae. And look, he'll make things better. I'm not going to pretend like adding a guy like Devontae Adams would make you better, but I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, they have Devontae, now they're going to beat the Bills on Monday. I don't buy that. Show me. Joel says DJ Reed performed well. DJ Reed was awesome today, man. That guy is so good. It's not going to be the Jets, but he's going to be paid by someone to be a number one corner next year. That guy, and you know what I love about DJ Reed? That guy scraps, man. That guy gets in your face, doesn't make excuses. He's at the biggest corner, and he just fights, man. That guy could play for my football team any day. And by the way, where are the people that were worried about DJ Reed this summer because Garrett Wilson was winning reps against him? DJ Reed, when the pads come on and it matters, that guy shows up. You could argue he's been the best defensive player for the Jets the last 2 weeks. McDonald had a nice game, I guess. You know, he had the sack early. I have to watch the all 22, but the defense wasn't great. They played well enough to win. You know, the only thing I'll knock the defense for is Sauce has got to catch that, man. You want to be Sauce Gardner, all pro, paid $30 million a year next year like Surtain. Catch the ball. And, at the last drive of the game, they held him to a field goal, but am I being unfair to ask them to not let Sam get them in field goal range at the end there? I don't know if I am. But this is about the offense, man. This is about how they came out in that first quarter. That was one of the worst quarters of Jet football we have seen during this playoff drought, and that is saying something. We have watched Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Luke Falk, Greg McElroy, Tim Tebow, Trevor Siemian, Flacco. Like, we have seen some of the worst offensive performances. That quarter right there was as bad as any. After you got your tail whipped around last week by Denver, that's how you come out and respond on offense? I know Rodgers loves Hackett, but I'm sorry. You can't tell me that he's not holding this team back. Barney, this is what I mean. We almost beat the best team in the NFL. Faith, you watch this Vikings team and you tell me you think they're they're the best team in the NFL. I don't know what to tell you. They're not. Sam Darnold today did not do anything that made me go, wow, he's awesome now. He didn't. He won the game. He didn't lose the game. Good for him. I know there were some Jet fans that ran into Sam Darnold's parents this weekend, and they were very nice. So I will always root for Sam. Not today, but I didn't watch Darnold today and go, wow. I mean, Sam Darnold today was 14 of 31 for 179 yards. Quarterback rating was 50.3. You lost the game. Boris says, I hope Sauce's performance is not an indication of what's to come from him. I hope it was just a bad game. He got exposed today. I mean, catch the ball, man. Hit the jugs machine this week. I don't know. I mean, this defense has gotten in Allen's head a couple times the last 2 years they played him. One of Sauce's picks 2 years ago was off Allen. Pick him off. C writes in, I'll say this now, but whom I'm kidding, I'm locked in for this team. It's a sickness being a Jet fan. Yeah, of course. We're pissed. We're mad. By Thursday, we're beating the Bills. I live it. I know. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Even if you thought the Jets sucked today, which they did, it will help this channel continue to grow as we're all in this together. If you're one of the 1,200 people watching live, please click the subscribe button. We talk Jets each and every day. I am flying back from London to New York tomorrow morning at like 7 a.m. When I land, it will be 10:30 in the morning in New York. So we'll have a show for you in the early afternoon talking more about this game and whatever Salah says in the morning when he speaks with the media. Beningo will join us Tuesday at 10 a.m. So Joe B., who normally joins us after every Jets game, he will join us Tuesday at 10 a.m. for those of you who are new to the show because you started watching through Joe. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. And if you need the laugh, Best of the Jake Asman Show, Episode 8 is now available for everybody after it was members only for the first week and a half. Today's Jake Asman Show, before we get to your Super Chats and some calls, is presented by my guy Joe DeVizio and his team at Joe DeVizio Realty. Look, here's the bottom line. Joe's a Jet fan just like us. He's an season ticket holder. He knows a thing or two about hard work. His company's awesome at what they do. If you're thinking about selling your home, stop what you're doing. Sellwithjoe.com for all the information. Joe and his team are the best for really any situation. If you're behind on payments, if you are dealing with squatters or a bad tenant, if you have repairs that are needed for your entire house, they do it all. Selling homes is what they do better than anyone. Single family, multifamily, commercial building, investment properties, condos, townhouses, beachfront properties. Joe and his team can sell anything, any place, anytime. Call Joe. All the info is in the description for this post game you're watching, and you see it right there on the screen. Sellwithjoe.com, or give Joe a call at 959. Call Joe. That's Joe DeVizio and his team at Joe DeVizio Realty. All right, Jet fans, more Super Chats here. Michael says, I'm done. I'm tired of investing. I get it. I'm done too, man. Until tomorrow. Then we're back. Joel writes in, DJ Reed played well. This defense meets the most. Yeah, look, I hate even killing the defense, man. Every game, they're put in the worst spot. When was the last time the Jet defense played poorly and the offense picked them up and bailed them out for a full game? Like, someone in the chat, give me a game in recent Jet history where the Jets won in a shootout. They can't win that way. I can't think of it. Like, seriously, someone find me the game where the Jets offense went out there and bailed out the defense. I can't think of it. Alec thought of it. He's right. The Bengals game on Halloween 2 years ago. Here's the thing. That defense was not this Jet defense. That was Salah's first year. They were 31st in the league. They weren't any good. So I should clarify. But you're right. That was the last time it happened, where Jet offense actually bailed out the defense. Right, but since 2022, right, when the Jets have become a top 3 defense in the league, which they're still going to be this week again. They were going into the game in every metric. They're going to be again now. Seriously. I think David Aaron nailed it here. I'm reading the live chat. Probably the Miracle Browns win, right? Flacco and Garrett Wilson on that last drive. Special teams had the onside kick recovery, Ashton Davis. Where the other 2 units on the team that game bailed out the defense. Like, if this defense, if they have a slightly bad game, they can't win. We were supposed to be past that, man. Scored 17 points. Knob Deep writes in, if the Jets are going to keep bending us over every week, they're going to need to pass out hepatitis meds. I'm told we'll be selling some at L5 for the tailgate on Monday night. God. Mr. Reality, I thought Olu was plug and play. He got AR killed. Look, I got to watch it back. He's not playing his natural position. They got to get Morgan Moses back. That's the bottom line. That was a big loss. Bigger than we thought, obviously. But I don't know if Morgan Moses just fixes everything, man. Like, how's Harrison Blitz coming free and no one's picking him up? How is that happening after what happened last week? Gizer writes in, at this point, I trust Reed and Eccles in coverage more than Sauce. Not blaming the defense, though. We need to start faster and be prepared. Love from Tennessee. Let's not act like Sauce is all of a sudden not good. But he has set such a high bar that if you want to be a $30 million a year corner and get an extension after this year, I'm going to need you to have an interception when it hits you in the hands. That play could have changed the game today. And as good as this defense has played, there's got to be a game where they win it themselves. You know? Score. The Vikings defense scored today. Felt like Quincy Williams was about to take that to the house, and then Sam Darnold got in the way. Dom checks in. Speaking of Dom, shout out to Dom C and his family. I rode with them in a cab to the game today. Sorry, they had to witness this shit like all of us. Not kicking the field goal in the first half pissed me off the most. Could have tied it at the ends, but I was glad they fought back and didn't get blown out. Yeah, I know some of you are going to point to the positives. Oh, they fought. I don't know, man. I'm kind of past that. Right? We have Aaron Rodgers. I expect him to not be out of it. He played better in the second half. He's got too much pride, even if he's not what he once was, to just get his ass kicked internationally. You know? This is what I mean. There's too much talent on this team for this team to be 2-3 right now. There is. Disgusting. Ray, zero creativity from the offense. No screens. Go balls. Draw DPI. Hack, you got to go. I guess you tried Todd Downing as play caller, losing hope. Dude, I'd let, you know, a guy in the stands call some of the plays. And let the fans vote on the play call on the Jumbotron. You put a QR code up there. Give us some options. We'll pick the plays. Can't do worse. Dante, I don't understand the resistance to changes. Hack it. No, you can make adjustments before halftime. You're right. I don't know. You know, I'll tell you what was coming through my mind today. I had a lot of thoughts that I don't want to share all of them on the air as I'm watching this. You know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of a moment that happened on this show at some point last year when a guy by the name of Peter Castro called in. And he was talking about our coaching staff. And as I'm watching this first half, specifically this first quarter from hell, I heard this inside my head.
Our coaching staff stinks. The team is never prepared. They're undisciplined. They make a million mistakes. And the coaching staff is terrible. He doesn't know what he's doing. Hackett and him are like having two drug addicts on the sidelines. They're no good. And if Rodgers doesn't fix this, we're all going to kill ourselves. What happens after Rodgers? They have no plan for that. It's going to be 10 more years of being a shit.
He's right. He's right. I mean, you know, he's right. And you're right, you're right. This sucked today, man. Why is it going to be different next week? Because we have Aaron Rodgers? Well, you have no running game with Aaron Rodgers, which kind of defeated the whole point and the premise this team was built around, having the elite defense, a running game, Rodgers taking care of the ball, which he didn't do today. I mean, what, was the first time in his career he's ever thrown 2 picks in the first quarter? He's only had 6 career games where he's thrown 3 picks. And you know what's crazy? I know the crowd's going to be great on Monday. I do. People are going to be like, no way. People are going to sell their team. Now, you watch. This fan base is going to be great on Monday. We'll do our part. I'm sure this defense will do their part too. Here's the problem. We have no faith the Jets are going to do theirs, specifically this offense. Dan says the lack of urgency from Saleh is beyond infuriating. Yeah, you know, I didn't watch the Saleh press conference. I only saw the quotes. I'm guessing you talked about the fight. And it's a long season, and we're not happy with where we are. I mean, great. I mean, I'd be furious if I'm him. Furious. You stuck your neck out for Nathaniel Hackett, for Keith Carter. They make you look bad, coach. Saleh's a great guy. You want him to win because he seems like a good dude. I know he's a good dude from people that know him. But if they lose to the Bills, how do you not make a change? And I don't know if it's Obrick or if it's Middleton, but how do you not do something different? See, we've seen bad Jets teams. I think why I'm so angry is this team has talent. They shouldn't be 2-3 right now. I've seen some shit Jets teams. You all have, if you've been following this team. We know what it looks like. Like when someone brought up the Mike White game in 2021 against the Bengals, that team sucked. That was why the Mike White game was insane. That team wasn't any good. They've had talent now for a couple of years. And really this year, you can't even compare the talent level to this roster compared to any Jets team probably since 2010. And they're 2-3 right now. That's why I'm so angry. Because they've lost 2 games in a row here where it is, to me, more so about the coaching than the talent. And that's a problem. Stu, I'm going to cry myself to sleep after that joke of a game. I'm not even going to sleep. I'm just going to stay up all night, get on a plane, get back to New York. And guess what? It'll be Monday morning again. I'm going back in time, baby. And then I want to watch a real team tomorrow night. The New York Yankees. I'm going to the Bronx for game 2. Assuming I don't. I don't know. Have a heart attack between now and then, given this Jets performance. Ernie writes in, Solid just can't get this team up for it. They come out slow every time, always chasing the game. I mean, you're right. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know how to explain it. Last week it was, well, the weather sucked. Oh, the Jets are the only team that is actually worse with 9 or more days to prepare. By the way, talking about stats that don't mean anything anymore, Aaron Rodgers, 10-0 in his career, went at home with 9+ days or more of rest. There goes that stat. You lost to Denver. All these great stats that make you feel like it's going to be different. They're not different. They're not. It's actually worse. This actually hurts more. Salah should put Viagra at every player's locker before the game on Monday. Maybe they'll get up for an hour, Ernie. How about that? You like that idea? I can't take it anymore, man. Dark Knight Steve in the house. What's up, Steve? I love you, brother. Good to hang out with Steve throughout the weekend. Steve and Joe, his friend, they were hanging out. They made the trip out together, and we had a blast, man. Steve was at the tailgate today, at the brewery, at the party last night at Hippodrome Casino. We're at the brewery together where NFL Network put this on TV today. I'll pull the video at some point when I'm less depressed. I mean, literally, I got a bunch of you as maniacs being like, you're on NFL Network. I'm like, what? And it was this. They had video of this chant. It's emergency time for moves. Adams and DL. Get Reddick playing. Bring in Noble at this point if it helps. Great seeing you. Have a Bloody Mary on the flight home. From DKS and Daytona Joe. Love Daytona Joe. Steve, you're the best, man. Thank you again for your support. I really appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, look, I would still get Devontae. I would. I do think he's going to be a Jet, by the way. I don't think this loss changes that. I think he's a Jet by Wednesday. I do. Will I be happy in the moment? Yeah. I mean, he makes them better. I'm not going to sit here and act like he doesn't, but they need more than just Devontae. They need better coaching. They need a running game. I mean, I know Rodgers talked about using the throw more next week to set up the pass, but I don't know, man. The whole premise of the season was you had Brees being able to be what Terrell Davis was to Elway. That was the vision. You didn't need MVP Rodgers. You keep him protected. You put him in a position where he's not throwing 54 mother effing times in a game. We only scored 17 points. Aria, Josh Allen down, not getting up. When was this sent? 3:45. I'm very behind. Someone in the live chat, please tell me what happened with Josh Allen. Is he still in the game? Obviously, I don't have the games on here. Someone keep us posted. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in, please. 2020 Houston driving. Thank you. I don't have the games on in my hotel room, but I'm going to head over to the casino tonight. If you're a Jet fan in London, we'll be drowning our sorrows at the Hippodrome. They'll have all the games on. By the way, shout out to the people at the Hippodrome Casino. Mike, who put the party together there with us. Obviously, Gangrene UK. Ant and Nick. Make sure you guys follow Gangrene UK and Green Smoke on social media. These guys deserve, I will say it all week, the amount of effort and passion they have for our shitty football team is astonishing. They deserve all the flowers. Amazing. Gangrene UK. Green Smoke. These guys are incredible, incredible fans. And their group is amazing. Amazing. I wanted to win so badly for them. Just brutal. And anyone who was here will tell you about how great Gangrene UK was. Unbelievable people, man. If you're an international listener, connect with your local Jet group, man. I met probably 35 people from Germany alone that are big-ass maniacs. Sweden, Finland, France. It was crazy. And not only did we embarrass ourselves back in the States, where you people had to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning to watch this bullshit, or if you're on the West Coast, 6 o'clock in the morning. But now we're an international embarrassment too. Great. Joel says, Jake, we can't deny Brees is a good talent. He's more than a spectacular Joe, I'm not sure what you're trying to say. I still believe in Brees Hall, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not concerned. It's 5 games in. This guy coming off a torn ACL last year went out there and was the best player on the field against the Bills last year. Where's that Brees Hall? I know he had one good, catch and run later in this game when they were trying to mount the comeback, but it's just, I don't know. And also, Rodgers missed him on that play to Garrett on the opening drive. I thought Brees was open underneath. I don't know. It's hard when you're at these games, man. They don't show the replay either, which I already ranted on, so I'll save it. Michael says, re-sign Reed, trade Sauce, Eccles. They're not trading Sauce. It's just, I hate that we're even talking about this, man. Like, I never would have envisioned anyone would ever send me a super chat 5 games into this season to trade Sauce. Wish B gifted 5 channel memberships. I don't know who got them, but thank him. That's awesome. TB. Dumbass Salah Hackett ran Braylon up the middle twice because everyone said they should have run him instead of Brees last week. It may have cost us the game. I don't know. Maybe have a better play call. You watch the rest of the league, they're all creative with their plays. We're like, nope. Freddie writes in, why are we running the ball from shotgun? We should go power with Allen. I mean, today Braylon Allen had 5 carries for 13 yards, as long as run was 7 yards. They had nothing on the ground today. Storyland, brutal loss. Let's not panic. Offense needs more time to gel and more chemistry. Maybe this will make Rodgers stop doing interviews and lock in. I mean, he goes on Pat McAfee once a week. He's done it now for 5 years. That's not why the Jets are 2-3. He won back-to-back MVPs his first 2 years doing it. So, I don't think Rodgers doing interviews is the problem here. I think the problem is the coaching staff is not good enough to overcome the talent. I think the problem is what we thought this team had with its running game, they don't. So now you're asking a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers who's taken a beating these last 2 games to throw 54 times, and he was bad today, especially in the first half. He obviously played a lot better in the second half, but you've had a chance to win the game twice late, and Aaron Rodgers has not done it yet. And it's not only him, obviously, and he still gives his team a better chance to win than anything they could have had 2 years ago when they signed him, and certainly anything we've seen during this playoff drought, but it's not good enough. Thanks to Gator, he was able to upload the NFL Network clip. So this was how my day started. I was like, there's no way the Jets are going to lose. And the Jets were like, ha, 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 asshole. I mean, that was the day. NFL Network. We were ready. This was Friday night at the Jet Pub. Ridiculous. AD says, can only afford 2 more L's now. Figure it out. Well, I don't know about that because the Bills might not be any good either. They're better than the Jets right now until proven otherwise. Someone let me know if the Texans win this game. You know, I'm going to sucker myself into, wow, the Jets win on Monday. They're in first place. God. I will do some calls in a second, guys. I know I've talked a lot. This is therapy for me too. Raphael writes in, AR already looks fed up with this team. Nobody's on the same page. I mean, I like this post-game answer. I don't know if he's fed up. Talked about sticking together. See, here's the thing. Rodgers has taken worse teams to the playoffs than this. I don't know if he's ever taken coaching this bad to the playoffs, though. That's and now he's 40 too. I don't know. I'm not giving up yet. I mean, they're 2-3. It sucks. They should be better. But playing for first place on Monday, maybe. Maybe playing for their season too that night. We'll see what happens here with the end of this Bills-Texans game. I don't know. AD says Brees is hurt from the Adams hit. Week 2 made him flip. But he's not even on the injury report. I don't know. If he's hurt, that's a major fine coming to the Jets if he has some sort of injury they're not disclosing. I don't buy that. I think we're making an excuse for Brees. Brees Hall wants to be considered the best running back in the league. You want to be in the McCaffrey conversation, Derrick Henry. You got to be more, man. Duncan, I think Wilson might be the only rookie worth extending for the price they'll command. No, I don't want to do this yet, man. We're all too emotional right now. They got to play better, though. I'm with you. I mean, look, you guys know I love Sauce. I love Garrett. I love Brees. They got to be better. Garrett today stepped up. Like I knew he would. But here's the problem, right? This is why they still need Devontae. They don't have enough talent there if Allen Lazard's still getting targeted 10 times. Garrett Wilson got targeted 22 times today. Curly, 95 points through 5 games, same as last year. Joe, Curly, you're allowed to be as negative as you want this week, my man. Last week, I was like, I get it. You're pissed. By Friday, I was like, it's all good, man. Come on. 2-2. Beat the Vikings. Go. Nope. Be as negative as you want, Curly. All right? You've earned it. I can't do it. I can't. I'm starting to be negative. And I try to just be down the middle and, I try to lean positive because who wants to be negative? But there's no positives from this game. Oh, but Jake, they fought hard. Bullshit. It's the NFL, man. Win the game. Fought hard. Forever Ron, no coaching changes in the offseason was a mistake. Well, they changed the position coaches, but they kept the guy in Keith Carter with the offensive line that a lot of the players didn't like. Look, Salo went into war with this staff. It's on him. All right? These are the people he wanted, that he backed. It's on him. Gizer, I watched Vera Tucker get blown past a few times. I'm going to have to rewatch the game, guys. We'll have Fialco on this week. I don't know. Being there, I didn't think the O-line played particularly great. Right? There were some moments I thought Rodgers had some time. Houston just won. First place is on the line on Monday, baby. Yeah. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, man. Buffalo Bills have lost what? They've lost now 2 in a row. Just like the Jets. Amazing. First place is on the line. God, I hate this franchise. I hate the Jets. I hate them. They're going to sucker us back in, these assholes. Oh, I can't stand them. Fairbairn hit a 57-yarder. Oh, I can't wait to rewatch this game. I can't even enjoy it. I'm so mad, man. I hate the Bills. They're going to win this game by going 8-9 because we're going to go 6-11. Who won the Dolphin-Patriot game, by the way? The shit. Oh, Miami won a game. 15-10. What a joke, man. Hit the like button if you like the fact that Bills lost, despite the Jets being a shit show themselves. Sauce of Sai. Our very center and both guards show no technique when trying to open the gaps for the run games. I'm looking at it again right now. Vera Tucker sold. I'll watch it later, man. Or never. I don't know. Michael, O-line can't be that bad. Need a run game coordinator. Fins or Pats. Carter hurt, same hammy. 3rd and 4th, run up the gut. Telegraph, get 3. Yeah, look, I in real time, I didn't mind going for it. I hated the play call. But, yeah, I mean, if you said field goal in real time, you have every right to feel that way. I don't know. You know how I feel? Like shit. That's how I feel. I go to bed till 5 a.m. this morning. Got up at 8 and then watched that. This team, man. Dan says, worry this loss makes Devontae less likely. I think it makes it more likely. Joel, Bronx man here. Thanks for the super chat answers. Good night. Joel, appreciate you, man. Go Yankees. Ray says Texans won the game. Boom. Omari, how will we do next week? More pain. Seriously, I don't know if I could go next week. I need a break. I will watch the game. I'll go live right after. I need a break, man. I don't even have a ticket yet, so I don't know. I need a break, man. Maybe I'll just go to L5 and tailgate with you guys and leave. Brock Bowers, 57-yard touchdown. You got to be shitting me. Oh, my God. Really?
Did somebody say Brock Bowers?
Oh, my God. Bauer boys are back, baby. Dano says, take a break, Jake. Our O sucks with you. No, the O was good with me. I was at the Patriot game, Dane. But I wasn't at the Denver game, and I was at this game, so I don't know what it is. It's not like there's a pattern we could point to. My record this year in person is 1-1. I'm not sitting here, by the way, oh, Bowers, it looks good. I'm not going to sit here and act like Olu, somehow a bad pick. We got to be patient with him. But, time will tell with that pick. By the way, Roger Jones, we need him. He sucks. Will McDonald's really good. So we got to be patient, but, pretty wild. People are calling me a jinx. I was there week 3 with Rodgers, man. You guys need me at MetLife. Look what happened since I didn't go to the game against Denver. Scored 9 points. Today, at least I saw 2 touchdowns, right? Which, by the way, here's how pathetic my road viewing experience has been. I went to Dallas last year. They scored 1 touchdown. I went to Vegas last year. They didn't find the end zone. Unreal. Freddie with a super chat. McDonald's getting to the quarterback. Joe needs to swallow his pride and sign Asman. We need another presence off the edge. Let's get Adams and Asman in here this week. Let me say this about Asman Reddick. I don't think he's ever playing for the Jets. I think he's a fool. He's now missed 5 game checks, costing himself close to $10 million. He was only going to make 14 this year. And you're wondering, well, how does that make sense? Because he got all the fines from training camp. He didn't get, I guess he wasn't fined a full $9 million. He could have made up to that because he had like a $250K workout bonus. He had a bonus for passing a physical. There were like all these things in his contract could have got him like some more money. It all adds up to close to $10 million. I don't think he's ever playing for the Jets. I think he's an idiot. You know what? He might honestly have the right idea. Maybe Asman Reddick is ahead of the curve. I don't want to play for this team. Maybe he knew. Ray says, we play the Bills first place next week. If we win, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones. I mean, I'm not. Obviously, I want them to win. But you don't get to just beat the Bills and it's like all is forgiven. Beat the Bills, then beat the Steelers. Like, win games, man. Like, when you win one game, that's a win. When you win a second game, that's called, right? That's called a winning streak. That's what this team now needs to do to get over 500. They got to win 2 in a row. I felt like they needed to go 2-1 over this stretch. I don't have a ton of confidence in 2-1 over their next 3, or now the next 2, but it is right there in front of them. Cody says, as a Dolphins fan, we sucked today. Only reason we came out on top was the Pats sucked even more. The division's a joke right now. I didn't see any of the 1 o'clocks today, or here in London, the 6 o'clocks, which is bizarre. But I'll watch the highlights later. Yeah, I mean, Cody, all our teams seemingly suck right now. I mean, you guys don't have a quarterback, so we know that. But, we have Aaron Rodgers and we still suck. So, I'll tell you what. I don't think Mike McDaniel's a great coach, but I think the Jets have at least one more win if he's their coach over Robert Saleh right now. Maybe I'm being too generous to McDaniel. I don't know. You tell me, Cody. You're a Dolphins fan. God. All right, let's do some calls here. I apologize for making everyone wait, but if you hung around, I promise I'll get to you. Let's go to Ken in San Diego. Ken, you're first up tonight, or tonight for me, I guess. Afternoon for you. What's up, Ken?
How's it going, Jake? I used to live in London, so I hope you enjoyed a little bit of it.
Wow, Ken. So you went through the hell of watching this team too at the late hours of the day?
Yeah, 6 a.m. Well, I used to live there. Now at 6 a.m. I woke up. My kids basically both called me up today and say, "What did you do to me, making me a Jet fan?" So, I'm at it for 58. They're at it for 20, 28 and 24. They're diehards. A couple of things I just down here. Some of the things maybe you didn't see. We look like the Keystone Cops on some plays. Our defense, Sauce got knocked out by Quincy. They were running routes.
They didn't show the replay. This is what I'm talking about, Ken. The NFL needs to get their shit together at these international games. They did not show the replay for anything unless it was a pro Viking play. Like if there's a Darnold completion, they'll show it. But there's a big play in the game and it's incomplete, they won't show the replay, which is insane.
When you see it, Jake, you'll be more upset, even though the defense played really good. I watch every other team, and they always scheme somebody open. Somebody is open 2 or 3 times during the game. I don't think anyone was open at all. I mean, all we do is rely on Rodgers going back, 2-step drop, and nailing it to somebody. Couple other things. I'm going to rapid fire for you here a bit. Wilson, he's not dumb. So the fact that he's not on the same page with Rodgers, or the fact that no one's on the same page with Rodgers but Lazard can't catch a ball, this is all coaching. And last year we talked about Keith Carter. It wasn't you who said he was bad, though we did, or me. There were 5 players. Brees came out and said the guy was horrible. And when Saleh said, "I'm sticking with him," well, guess what? He's going to lose his job. I mean, we can't run. It's not all Brees Hall. If you look at this game, he's getting hit 2 yards in the backfield. I'm not saying he's the same Brees, but oh my God, our run coordinator is just abysmal. Lastly, when you have, you said this, by the way, same blitz as last week. The announcer said the Jets are getting beaten by the same exact blitz week after week after week, no adjustments. And then the last thing, Quincy came out and said that he's going to start holding people responsible. That's where we are as a team, that maybe the coach isn't going to do it, but Quincy said, "I'm going to start holding myself and others responsible." So the truth of the matter is we're diehard Jet fans. We'll be there next Monday night. My son's flying out to New York. I'm sure he'll come to say hello to you. And maybe
I don't know if I can do it, man. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it.
Come on, I've done it for 58 years. You got plenty more years than you.
No. I'll be watching. I'll be live immediately after. I don't know if I can watch this team in person right now. Like I need a mental health break. I am in a bad state right now. This killed me. Like, and then the 2 hours trying to leave Tottenham and trying to figure out how the hell to get back to where I am in London. This sucked, man. I thought leaving Vegas after the Raiders game that you and I were at last year, leaving that stadium was a shit show. This was ridiculous. Oh,
San Francisco was tough to leave as well. By the way, Huff has 0 sacks for the season. Just so everybody knows, we need Hassan Reddick. Huff has 0 sacks. So, I mean, listen, it's just bad coaching. We were behind 17-0 in a drop of a lash. I mean, it's just we're not ready to play the games. Oh. And that's what it's about. And
that includes the defense, by the way, early. They settled down, and obviously, 7 of those points is not their fault with the pick 6 by Rodgers. But, this defense, how about they come out and force a turnover early? How about they come out and Darnold's going right down the field on that opening drive. I just
Sauce,
I don't be the team that comes out and plays like that. You're 1,000% right.
I love Sauce. I mean, I think he's a good player. I think when you look at some of the replays, some of the pass interferences were very, very sketchy. But he's got to catch that ball in the end zone. That's what defensive players of the years do. You make the play, and we're not making the plays. But I'll see you next week. We're going to win next week. I'm being positive. I don't know how we could win, but we're going to win.
Ken, this is why you're the great. Ken from San Diego. Love it. Yeah, I mean, of course the Jets are going to win next week. We're going to get everything out of our system today. Neil will call in by Wednesday, and not only are the Jets going to win, they're going to win probably by 3 touchdowns. Can't do it, man. Let's go to someone that was at this shit show with me. Let's say hello to Rick Kent, who's next. Hey, Rick.
Hey, Jake. Today's debacle notwithstanding, that stadium was amazing.
It was. It really was.
I also want to shout out all the English fans, the Gangrene UK, Ant, Alistair, John, and John.
They all named John. I thought I was mishearing them when they said, "Hi, I'm John," and I'm like, "Hi, I'm John." I'm like, "Are you all John?" I guess they are.
Yeah, there's at least 4 guys named John there, and Green Smoke guys, Nick and his wife Kimmy were fantastic.
Yes,
and the Asmaniacs that I met and hung out with, Altoona Sandwich, Lee Van, Dark Knight Steve, and his brother Daytona Joe, not his friend. And,
I didn't realize that was his brother.
Oh yeah, and Danny B and his wife Ashley, also awesome people.
Hey, Danny B and Ashley, they're probably watching right now. Safe travels. They booked a car service right after this game. They did the smart. I wish I did that. Get out of the. I want to get out of here as quickly as possible. They're already at the airport. They're flying.
I got trapped in a mob heading for. I was supposed to take a bus to a train station. I wound up walking a half hour to the train station. I couldn't move. I couldn't go in any direction. I just followed the herd like a sheep. But it was it was a great time. London is fantastic. It's a great city. I really loved it. A win would have been nice. Rodgers made some dreadful throws, I thought. That was definitely a Vikings home game. It was gross. They do this thing, the skull chant. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's horrible. I mean, it's a slow motion. It's a slow motion chant, and they can't even do it together. It's really weird. But I saw people with jerseys from every single team, and that was kind of bizarre to see. And every British guy was telling me, "You're going to see that. You're going to see every team. Like people just wear anything." And it was just a great time at the tailgate today. I'm standing with Dark Knight Steve and Joe, and this huge British guy comes up to us and he says, "Hey, I'm flying solo. Can I hang out with you guys?" And he said he's from a village of 1,000 people, and he's this huge Jet fan, and he was just the coolest guy. His name was Rex. He was awesome. The people there are just great.
We should have put him on the offensive line. He couldn't have done worse than what we saw out there today.
Oh, he was big enough. And I'd also like to thank you, Jake, for everything you did. The party you threw was great, and it's awesome. It was great to meet you in person. And that's about all I got. My throat is killing me. I got to pack. I'm flying home tomorrow.
Rick, I'll message you in the Discord, man. If you're around later, maybe we'll get together.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to pack, and I'm really beat. But other than that, I don't know. Maybe I'll come to New York one of these days. Everybody's killing me to come to a home game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rick. It was great to meet you, man. I'm glad you had a great time. Rick's a perfect example, right? He was part of this weekend. He came to the different events we did with Gangrene UK, the party last night. The walking tour was great that we did on Friday. We saw all these different areas in London. The weather, by the way, was beautiful the whole weekend until today. It was a little overcast, a little rain, but where we were sitting didn't have to deal with it, which was great. Take notes, MetLife. But everything was great till the game. Once again, I'm tired of saying that, man. I am so tired of when people ask me, how was this? How was that? It was great until the game started. Sick of it. It's bullshit. Curly with a super chat. Curly taking full advantage of me saying he could be as negative as he wants all week. I think Rodgers just threw another back shoulder pass to a receiver who isn't looking. I can already hear it. Brady was 5-5 with Tampa, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, look, people will find the positives. I'm sure at some point I maybe will look for some of them. I'm not doing it today. No. You don't get positives when you score 17 points against the Vikings. When they handed you this game on a platter and said, please take it. We don't want to go undefeated. We'd like to lose today. Skull. And they're going like this, too. I think a skull up yours. God. I want to take that horn and throw it. Oh. I was unhinged in there. I think these European people probably don't like me very much. I don't know. William Club says our offense does not show up until our defense makes a big play or a turnover. I mean, the only time the offense really had any success was when they were set up with a short field, right? Gibson had the nice punt return. Where's that been the last, really since his big return to win the Bills game? I can't remember another return that Xavier Gibson had like that once. That was good to see. Maybe that, you want positives? Maybe that's something that could be, a game changer if he could get back to being a good returner. I don't know. But no, I mean, the defense forced 2 turnovers. Special teams set up one of the touchdowns. This is on the offense, man. It's on Hackett. It's on Saleh. He allows it. It's on Rodgers, who had a bad game today. But part of the reason why Rodgers has a bad game is he's getting his shit kicked in. Sorry, I feel bad cursing like I am. I know it's a family show on non-post games because I'm losing my mind here, man. This is not good, man. I didn't even pull the picture of him crawling on the sideline, which I saw after the game today on the tube coming back from this. That's why he's struggling. He's thrown 54 times. The whole idea of this team was to be balanced, that there'd be games where the Rodgers would throw under 30 times. We played the under on his props. He's not going to throw 35 times a game. Not when you have Breece Hall in the backfield and Braylon Allen, who's really impressed from day one. He's looked good. Going back to OTAs, I was impressed by Braylon Allen. But everything we thought about this team, it's not what we thought to this point. And yeah, the Bucs were 5-5 in 2020 with Brady. I think Peyton Manning was 2-3 in Denver too. The first, but I don't know, man. I can't look at what I've seen here and feel like it's going to be different because these are alarming trends for a coaching staff that's in their 4th year together. So if it hasn't changed now with Aaron Rodgers now here, why is it ever going to change? They could maybe beat the Bills on Monday. Then they'll probably lose to Pittsburgh the week after. I lost a lot of faith these last 2 games, man. The Denver game really killed me. You guys saw that post game last week in the bow tie. Then I had to go to a wedding because that game was alarming for everything we feared. And then today it's like you got your ass beat last week. Show up and come out and show us that was an outlier, and they get down 17-0 in this game. And yeah, they made a nice comeback, right? Woohoo! I don't want to hear it. Nice comeback. You know what a nice comeback is? When you come back and actually win the game. The only thing saving the Jets right now, and I'm seeing it in the chat here, the only thing saving the Jets is that the AFC is not any good. I mean, I see the Raiders are up 10-0 already on Denver. They already scored more than the Jets. We're in the first quarter of that game against the same opponent. I'm tired of we're almost good enough to come back and win. Tom writes in, some of the cutaways to Rodgers sitting on the bench looked like he was contemplating retirement. Yeah, he was getting his ass beat, man. This is not what he signed up for. The problem is, and I love Aaron, and I love how he's handled himself and what he's meant to this team. But the problem is this is what makes him great, right? The greatness of Aaron Rodgers is that people doubt him and he shows you. But people doubted him about Hackett, and he can't make Hackett better. He can make him a little better. But I'm sorry, man. It's not going to work. The only way it will work is if they figure out how to run the football again. That was the whole premise. This team was, once again, I keep coming back to that. Because when you look at the box score today and you see Aaron Rodgers threw 54 times and they only scored 17 points, you go, why did that happen? Why didn't they run the ball? And then you're like, oh, they tried to run the ball, but they averaged 2.6 yards per carry because their all-world running back all of a sudden forgot how to play and the O-line forgot how to block. I mean, this game ended like 6 hours ago. I'm still red hot. Whenever it ended, I don't even know. Let's do some more calls here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to Paul. He's next. Hey, Paul.
Jake, been a while. How are you? Not good like me.
Yeah. No one needs to ask how I am. You guys all know. You get it. And no one's doing
Yeah,
well
we're
today.
the same way, man. Same way. It's frustrating. I'm gonna try to be a little bonesy here and remain positive because we got no choice, really. But the couple things I want to touch base on. Our 3 losses are against very good defensive teams right now, or at least starting the year off that way. And I just don't think we're fully in sync yet. And I think we're just hitting some unfortunate times with some better defenses. And it just looks like Rodgers' timing is not on because he's kind of running for his life, and he's not comfortable in the pocket because the O-line's not doing it. They're just not doing it.
These last 2 games, Paul, I don't know what's happened to them because they were pretty good the first 2. I mean, I maybe Morgan Moses is the MVP of the Jets. I don't know.
No, I know it's baffling. Like I can't, and none of us can. We can't figure out what. I know it's coaching to some extent, but also, like you said, like these guys are pro ball players, and mistakes they're making is not excusable either. And they got to get their crap together. It's just they're playing. They're just not playing good football, and they're a better team than this. And I can't deal with it. Like I really can't. I actually get to sleep in on Sundays. I actually got up early to watch that crap. I was like, it was just, and then couldn't end nice. We couldn't have came back. I mean, Rodgers threw 3 picks. I mean, when's the last time he threw 3 picks in a game? I mean, God, I'd love to find that stat out. And again, I just think that he was pushing because he was trying to get the ball out fast because he has no protection. And I think everybody's a little off sync because we're losing them couple seconds to get these plays to actually come into place, but it's not happening because no one's blocking. And we can't open up a hole for the run. I mean, it's ridiculous. And they know when we're running. And I hate when people say that because good football teams, when they're going to run and you still can't stop them. So, even it's just they're a hot mess right now. And the only thing that they got going for them is, like you said, the entire AFC is just whacked. Like, I mean, everywhere. You don't know what you're going to get at any team, any week anymore. It's like the oddest thing. And the only thing they have going for them is that. I mean, you know what? They could freaking be number 1 in the division if they win at home next week against Buffalo. Then if they could pull out the next 2 against Houston and Pittsburgh, which are divisional games, all of a sudden we turn the table. But they gotta start showing up soon. I mean, it's just ridiculous watching them and depressed. Really am. That's why we drink. Cheers, brother. Missed you for a while, but I've been just crazy busy and just missing your shows. But I always watch them anyway. So,
I miss you, brother.
Maybe I'll see you at the Buffalo game. You better go because you know what? Your home record's okay. Maybe you should stop going on the road. That's something you want to think of.
I'll tell you what. This seems like, I don't even want to say what I'm going to say because that would imply that I was going to say something about, well, if they're on the road in the playoffs, I'm not going to go. But you think this team's making the playoffs right now, Paul? I don't. So we'll see.
I just think the only reason why I could say we're not out of it is because
they're not out of
it. Is
the AFC sucks. The AFC sucks, man. I think the Jets, as bad as they have played, and great call, they were the 5th seed going into today. I don't know where they are now. They're probably not a playoff team with a 2-3 record, but that kind of puts it in perspective. I was looking at this year. Where is the stat I had? Just like I had a good stat. I lost it. Never mind. Ignore it. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm like delusional right now. I'm delirious. Hexen writes in, as far as I'm concerned, the Jets are losing each game going forward unless proving otherwise. Yeah, I mean, look, you expect them to lose every week. I guess it won't hurt as much as they do. I mean, this just sucks, man. That first half is some of the worst football I've ever seen, ever. That's on this head coach. I'm sorry. We know Hackett is what he is. This head coach kept him. You could say, oh, Jake, he's got to abide by Rodgers. All right. Fine. But Aaron Rodgers now can't save you, Salah. They lose to Buffalo, I would make a coaching change. I would. I never thought I'd get to that point, but I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. It's not getting better. They lost 10-9 to Bo Nix last week in the rain. They lost today to Sam Darnold, who did diddly poo for a lot of this game. If he didn't get handed some phantom calls by the officiating. How many points does Minnesota have today? Now, mind you, they scored 23. 7 of them were not by the Jet defense. 7 of them were because Rodgers threw a pick 6. I mean, when we looked at the schedule, and we saw it was Aaron Rodgers versus Will Levis, Jacoby Brissett, Bo Nix, Sam Darnold, we thought 4-1. 3-2 minimum. 2-3. Yeah, it's just horrible. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We'll do some more calls here. I appreciate everyone joining us. What time is it right now? 9:41. Ugh, London time, man. All right. Let's see. Tyler says, Jake, you missed my super chat. Tyler, write whatever you wrote. I thought I read one from you earlier, but if I missed it, there's just too much going on in the chat. I'll read it. Let's get to more of your calls. Let's say hello right now to Rob, the Jet fan. Hello, Rob.
Hey, Jake. Just really depressed. What a garbage game. I mean, I want you to get Allen and get JJ on the show, and I'm going to state out an apology about Salah. He's garbage. He needs to go. I don't want him as a coach anymore. He doesn't know what the bleep he's effing doing.
Yeah, look. I mean, he's had his chance, man. Like, he was always going to get this year, and it's like, I mean, come on, man. Like, you want to root for the guy. He's a great dude. It's just
I do want to root for him. You're right.
I don't think he's the guy either. The problem is,
he's not.
Like, the problem is the AFC is so watered down. Like, they're probably going to be in the mix throughout the year, and they get hot come playoff time and go on a run. Maybe he's here somehow next year, but like, the likelihood of that right now feels very, very unlikely. But what do I know? I don't know anything anymore. I thought I knew football, but apparently I don't know anything because this Jets team is.
We all don't. It's not just you, Jake. I mean, we blinked and it was 17-0 today. You can't keep overcoming crap like that. You can't.
Nope.
And let's be honest. Rodgers did not play well today. He didn't.
No.
He showed some of his age. He did. That last pass to Mike Williams. He's 6'5". Why are you throwing it down here? Give Mike Williams a chance. Throw it up high.
I haven't seen the replay yet. I thought they weren't on the same page. I had a bad view from my seat. It looked
see it again.
Yeah.
Jake, when you see it again, you'll see that he could have thrown the ball higher. And then that gives Mike Williams an excellent chance of catching the ball. And then another thing, Jake. I mean, did you see that play where Garrett Williams duked the guy on a second and he went out and he was wide open for a touchdown and Aaron Rodgers threw it 15 yards over his head? What the hell happened there?
Yeah, it was like a slant and go. Yeah, it was the last target to Garrett. Like he had. I mean, he was off today, and the
that would have been a touchdown. And that was Aaron Rodgers' fault. That was not Wilson's fault. It's not. I don't want to sit here and destroy Aaron Rodgers. I appreciate everything he's trying to do for the Jets. The O-line was horrible today. Okay, but you know what? He did show a lot of age today, and you know what? Yeah, I'm going to pounce a little on Sauce. When is this guy going to learn how to catch the ball in his breadbasket in the end zone? Because that takes away 7 points, Jake, right there, and it changes a lot of the complexity of the game. But for whatever reason, Sauce can't catch any balls for whatever reason. But Brendan Eccles, you throw him in there, and this guy is always making plays, this guy. How can that be? Why can't this guy catch, Sauce? Sauce is, I'm sorry to say this, but Sauce is, please, I don't want to hear any more comparisons with Sauce and Revis ever again. Revis is a million times better than him. I'm really pissed at Sauce the way he's been playing. He's not a good tackler, let's be honest. He's good at breaking up plays and stuff. They made a couple of BS calls on him. I'm not going to totally destroy him, but I'm not happy with the way he's playing lately. I'm really not.
No, I mean, the one thing he caught, and I had a great view because I was on that side of the field, was the incompletion to Jefferson. He had good coverage on him, and he caught the thing out of bounds.
Yeah, it was out of bounds. That one he didn't drop, but the one in the end zone he dropped.
Sauce is very good. All right, his coverage, stats are still excellent. Like he doesn't get a ton of opportunities, so it's magnified when he does get an opportunity to make a play, an interception, and he doesn't do it. So.
And
you know what I mean? Like he's got. If you want to be paid like a $30 million a year corner, you got to make that interception in the end zone. It would have changed the entire.
Yeah, you got to make those plays. And one thing too, Jake. You know what? Buffalo just lost to Houston, correct?
Correct.
Okay, 3-2. We're 2-3, and how watered down this league is, and the parity, as you say. You know what? We win this game against Buffalo, we're tied in first place, and that's beyond all comprehension. But you know what? This has got to be do or die for Saleh. You either win this game. I don't give a crap if it's not a game that we're supposed to win. You either win this game or you're fired, and take that piece of shit Hackett with you, because I don't want to see that joker. Peter Castro's right. These coaches are a joke so far. I am beyond livid, Jake. I want to be positive, and most of the times I am a positive guy, but I got to call a spade here, and this looks like shit show so far, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy, and if this continues again, get Allen, get JG on the line. I will apologize to them, and I'll say, you're right. These coaches are worth a bag of crap, but I'm sorry to be negative. I'll try to be a little bit more positive during the week, but I'm just really pissed off.
No, F that. They don't deserve the positivity. Be as negative as you want. Tell us how you feel. You're right, Rob. You're right. Everything you said there is factual. I think you're a little tough on Sauce. I don't want to make this about Sauce is not any good anymore. Sauce, I think, has been good this year. We hold him to a standard where he's the best corner in the NFL. He's great. He has not done it. But everything else you said, I agree with you. I had concerns about Saleh, but I figured with the makeup of this team, they'd be able to overcome a lot of those concerns. They'd have a great running game. They'd have a balanced offense. They have no running game, and Aaron Rodgers is getting the crap kicked out of him. He's throwing 54 times in a game. I think his team's going to trade for Devontae Adams this week. And that's going to be their move to try and kickstart and spark things. But I'll say this. If they lose to the Bills, I would make a coaching change. I would. I mean, it was brutal. King of Dreams, Super Chat. Jake, you're my G, but this is my last Super Chat until the Jets win. I'm sick of their BS. Sidebar, that bucket hat is fire. Thank you, King of Dreams. Wanted to pay my respects to the great UK Jet fans I met all weekend. Not just UK Jet fans. I think people would be astonished to learn the following this crummy franchise has in Germany, Sweden, Finland, France. I mean, I was getting stopped on the street by so many German Jet fans. It was wild. Even leaving this game today. I'm stuck trying to figure out if I'm going to walk far away to call an Uber, which we couldn't do. And we walk all the way back towards the train station, finally get on the train. And as we're walking, I'm with my friend Alexis, and I get stopped by a German Jet fan. I mean, they're everywhere. They're loyal to this team, and they're watching these games at 3 o'clock in the morning a lot of times. They're watching that. It's just unreal. Tyler, his super chat was about highlighting the run game being bad, which is why we're seeing many quick sideline throws and short passes to mimic the run. Well, they also clearly didn't have a lot of faith in the offensive line protection. So they're trying to get the ball out quick, which I get. But you need a balanced attack. I felt like they were so over the top with the play action today. And the line wasn't holding up, so Aaron would come out of the play action, turn around, and to be guy in his face. That gives you moments like this. A joke. Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Subscribe to the channel if you're a Jet fan. We had over 38,000 2 weeks ago. Close to 39. Jets are 1 win away from being in first place, folks. You want positivity? There you go. All right. Let's get to more of your calls right now. Let's bring on a legend who always makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Eugene M. Gorman.
Hey, Charles! You'll never get my chicken soup recipe. Hey, Charles! I'm not saying that Lowski takes steroids. I need some of it. Hey, Charles! Who is that lovely lady? Send it this way, Charles!
Hey, Jake, how are you?
I'm doing so good, Charles, you wouldn't believe it.
I'm watching the Giant game right now, and they're down 7-0.
Thank you, Charles.
Anyway, yeah, the first half was pretty disastrous for the most part. It wasn't very good to watch. It was in a lot of ways cringeworthy. Play calling I didn't really like today. I didn't like they didn't stick with the run. Yes, no, they didn't get a whole lot.
Charles, stop. Stick with it. Stop. Is your phone underwater? Why are you like all staticky?
I'm not staticky. I'm probably not feeling too well right now.
What?
All I'm saying is that the first half was very disastrous. Aaron Rodgers didn't play very well. I'm telling you right now, Jake, if the Jets don't find a way to win on Monday night versus Buffalo, I would make a head coaching change. Because I'm tired of this bullshit. Excuse my language. Jake, where are you?
Some of your mama's chicken soup.
Jake, where are you?
Hey, Charles, I need some more of that chicken soup.
God, they keep playing that shit. Jake, where are you? Anyways, I would probably get rid of both Saul and Hackett after the Bills game if the Jets don't win, because Hackett has been shown far proven that he's not a good offensive coordinator. I don't care if he's Rodgers' best buddy. He sucks as an offensive coordinator so far this year, and these last 2 games have been abysmal to watch on offense. So hopefully we get our act together. Have a good day. All right, bye.
Oh, sorry about that, Charles. I was having some tech issues. Thanks for holding it down. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. If you're a channel member, hit the Charles emoji. Tom Ace with a great point. Jets are 0-2 since you shaved. Charles, grow the beard back this week. All right, you got 8 days for Buffalo. First place is on the line somehow. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Indomable, who's on the line. Hello, Indomable.
Jake, man, damn, what a loss, man. Shit, and you had to see that live, man. Let me tell you something, man. I don't like, I try to be as rational as possible. Losing is part of sports, but you want to lose with dignity. You want to lose with honor, at least in a high way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for these people saying, "Oh yeah, we tried hard, we did this," no. There's no participation trophy here, man. You have to win in the NFL. So basically, if we put our fandom exceptionalism aside, besides the second half against the Tennessee Titans, we can easily be 1-4. The only game that we have dominated throughout the game and that we showed dominance as a squad, it was against the Patriots. I don't see why the Buffalo, like for instance, the Buffalo Bills last year were struggling with the offense. They replaced the offensive coordinator with Joe Brady. Boom, they went on a winning streak. Why can't we do a change to spark something in this organization? Many people are saying right now, "Oh, Sauce, trade him." No. Sauce is a superstar. He's one of our best players. But we do have to collectively agree that when Echols is playing, he seems to do a lot of takeaways, something that has been criticized a lot on this Salas defense. And as soon as Sauce came in, 25-yard completion. So we're not going to trade Sauce, but there's a reality that Echols does bring a lot to the table, like doing takeaways and stuff. And just a couple of points before I go. 22 targets to Garrett Wilson. That was kind of surprising considering that historically Rodgers, he likes to spread the ball. For instance, against the Patriots, 8 different receivers. I don't see why we don't activate Corley. We spoke about that a couple of weeks ago. Why we don't use Allen and Hall, which was a staple in the first 2 wins of us. You know, Allen and Hall at the same time in the backfield. And it all comes down to coaching. We've been saying it. You said the whole offseason, every day. I watch you every day, Jake, both shows. You said it all offseason. We need to see Salah with a real quarterback. And what we are seeing is not pretty. And for a lot of people are saying, yeah, the refs this, the refs that. You know how you take the refs out of the game? Making plays. And we're not making enough of those. Have a great day, Jake. Go Jets.
Indomable. I agree with the premise of your call there, man. It's the NFL, man. You got to win ugly. You got to win. Think about how close the Jets were to being 3-1 in this game. Now we're 2-3 just like that. That's why it's like the season's not over at 2-3. But the good teams find a way to win these games, man. I guess this year might be unique. I don't know how many good teams there actually are in the AFC this year. I haven't seen any of the games today, but Buffalo lost again. Ravens beat the Bengals today. So they're what? 1-4 now? Like Cleveland's 1-4. We know New England and Miami aren't any good. I mean, the Jaguars finally got a win today. They beat the Colts. Indy's 2-3. Like, I don't have the standings in front of me here, but my point is, like, this might be the year where it's like the Jets are lucky they have their issues in this year because there's actually still a path for them to not suck and be playing meaningful games down the stretch, which we went a long way from, we want to play meaningful games down the stretch. Now, I want to win the AFC East, man. All right? Forget not making the playoffs. This team hasn't had a home playoff game since 2002. I'm tired, man. Jets are right now, I guess, the 9th seed. I don't know if all the games have updated, though. Let's see. Ravens 3-2 are the 5. Bills, AFC East champs are the 4. Pittsburgh 3-1. They haven't played yet, obviously. Houston 4-1 now. They're the 2. So I'm going to break down that Texans-Bills game. Was it more about Houston looking good or Buffalo blew it? I haven't seen any of it yet because I've been doing this, and I needed to get back from Tottenham Stadium, which took 2 hours. You think leaving MetLife is bad? Holy shit. Dave in Abu Dhabi. Let me tell you about Dave. This man came out from literally Abu Dhabi to attend this weekend's festivities, and he saw that performance. Dave, you're the man. It was great to meet you. Jacob, not for 3 drives today. Coaching changes would need to be imminent. Look, when they were down 17-0, I wanted Salah fired at halftime. I was enraged in the stands. The only thing their fake comeback did is I don't think Salah is getting fired or anyone's getting fired this week. I think if they lose to the Buffalo Bills, everything should be on the table. I don't like calling for guys' jobs. But I'm at a point now where I just think this team is too talented to be 2-3. Like, despite the record, we've seen bad Jets teams play on the field. I don't think this team is bad from a personnel standpoint. I don't. I really don't. I think they got enough good players to be better than 2-3. Rodgers is not obviously what he once was. We knew he wouldn't be. The whole premise was you have the running game. You have the defense. You have the players around him, and they're not being utilized properly. They're not. Snowball with a super chat. Thank you, Snowball. It's tough to win when you lose the turnover battle. Quinnen's remarks speak volumes. Have a beer on me. Safe travels. Snowball, love you. I think you're talking about Quincy's remarks. Let me find the Quincy quote just so we can quote him accurately. He said this in a one-on-one to Janae Coakley on SNY. Alan Lazard tweeted, "We're going to figure it out. Trust the process." I've been trusting it since 2004, Alan. People got to start taking accountability. People getting tired of hearing the same thing every week. I mean, that sounds like to me he's calling out the head coach. Someone in the chat tell me, when you hear Quincy Williams say the quote, people got to start taking accountability. People getting tired hearing the same thing every week. Who do you think he's talking about? I mean, I don't know if he's talking specifically about coaching, but all right, the head coach just say he's talking about someone in coaching, right? Here was the full quote. I'm going to be honest, man. People got to start taking accountability. People get tired hearing the same thing every week. I'm tired of saying the same thing every week. I need to start working on being a leader more. I mean, Quincy's the one guy, man, one of the few guys on this team that is played like an all-pro. He's one of the few guys in this team that had the expectations coming in that he was a great player based off what he did previously and has lived up to it. Sauce hasn't. He was an all-pro last year. Brees wasn't an all-pro, but there was a reason why he was projected to be a top 3 pick in fantasy football this year. There's a reason why he was second in yards from scrimmage this year. Brees was expected to take a leap. He hasn't. Garrett had a nice game today, but he hasn't been the guy we were expecting to this point. Honestly, I know Quinn Williams gets double teamed, but can he make a couple plays every game where he game wrecks? I know Chris Jones still does it. I'm not trying to kill Quinn, and this defense is very good. They played well today. But it's like, man, like, they should be better than this. Sorry, they should. Quincy's the best player on this defense as far as I'm concerned. Him or DJ Reed, I think, are the best Jets this year, defensively. McDonald, too, but I mean, something's got to change, man. It's unacceptable. Dr. Nesniv. Ken, since 93, don't think anything will change until we have new ownership. At some point, the consistent trash goes beyond the coaches. Look, all I know is when Woody Johnson bought this team, they were in the playoffs in 2001, 2004, 2006, 2009, 2010. From 2000, when he bought the team, to 2016, they never had back-to-back losing seasons. It's the same owner. I think it's easy to blame ownership, and they have done some dumb things in the past. I don't think it's an ownership problem with this particular team right now. Everyone said Joe Douglas was the can't-miss guy to hire. They hired him. Then people said Sal was the guy you had to hire. He was the number one candidate during that cycle. Remember they let him leave the building? Yeah, how do you let Sal leave the building? You got to hire him. You know, here's where ownership could be the problem. If they don't recognize they need to do something. Now, I don't know if they need to do it right now. I know everyone wants, Salah's head on a spike. I get it. I don't think it's going to happen yet. But if they lose to Buffalo, I would make a change. I would. They're 2-4. I would fire Salah. I probably would make Ulbrich the interim. Or Ron Middleton, which I don't know what they would do. It could be Middleton because he was the intern when Salah was out with COVID. I think Ulbrich maybe makes more sense, though. Defense has been up to standard. One of the position coaches could be the DC. And that maybe galvanizes the team a little bit. I don't know. I think you got to do something. Might not work. You got to do something. More of your calls right now. Let's say hi to Nate. What's up, Nate?
Terrible, Jake. Absolutely terrible. Well, I'm sorry you had to live that in person. I guess there's kind of a Jekyll and Hyde. Like obviously if you want to think about positives, there's been enough time. Like we just saw Buffalo lost. We still have Aaron Rodgers. Like he's been in this situation before where he had to tell the Green Bay fans to relax. I actually have faith in the offensive, just the offense in general, figuring it out. Like I don't think Brees is going to run for 20 yards every game. I don't think Rodgers is going to have to throw it 50 times and just everyone looks so out of sync. I think that is going to get better over time. The issue I have is with the defensive line. We saw in the first quarter, Jake, on first down in the first quarter, we had Tech McKinley, LT3, Jalen Holmes, and Solomon Thomas as our defensive line. On the one where we got gashed by Chandler, their backup running back, by 20 yards down the right sideline, or if you're watching on TV, down the right sideline, it was Watts who tried to set the edge and got blocked by a wide receiver. LT3 and Jalen Holmes inside. There were times where Darnold audible just to run right at Michael Clemens and Jalen Holmes for 8 yards. One time he hurried up and then switched to left and ran right at him. Like the depth on this defensive line, you know me, I'm a JD guy. I have his jersey. Like the depth on the defensive line is severely lacking, with or without Jermaine Johnson and Hassan Reddick, because like they're both not here, and their immediate replacements are just not good. They're not good. Joe Douglas has his job on the line, and he's trusting 3 guys who he didn't even want to draft in the 7th round, and are now starting NFL games. Like that's a serious problem. Obviously, Saleh showed us absolutely nothing. Going into the season this year, I was echoing everywhere. Defensive line and coaching were the only things I was really worried about. I thought teams could, like, if they tried to run them down our throat, control the clock, which we've seen them do time and time again. He's been out coached now 4 to 5 games. The only time he hasn't went against the Patriots and a rookie head coach. The worst decision, I was on Bobby's show earlier, and I was heated. When it was 4th down, we had 1 first down and 2 quarters to Tyler Conklin via the air, and he ran the ball with Braylon Allen on 4th down. When you could, it was a 10-0 game against Sam Darnold. It was not 21-0 against Patrick Mahomes, where I would kind of understand that. It's 10-0 second quarter. You have the Aaron Rodgers. They have Sam Darnold. You've been struggling to move the ball. You get 3 points. Like, this is like a 13-year-old in Madden would take those points. You're then a touchdown away. It makes absolutely no sense. So that was ridiculous. The play call was ridiculous. They ran it right into a run blitz. They actually lost yards on 4th and 1. So the people saying, "Oh, Braylon Allen," it's just the play calling and the blocking. It was just that was asinine. And of course, we lose the game because of that play. So Robert Saleh is just, he's getting in the team's way. And I don't know if anyone has time, look at post-game interviews. Look at Aaron Rodgers post-game. Look at the intensity and just, I mean, he takes accountability for how his errors and things he need to clean up. It's just unacceptable. Look at Quincy Williams and how he same thing. He had a decent game, but he fumbled and or kind of tripped over himself, and Sam Darnold should have brought that back. He was pissed after the game. Robert Saleh was talking about how the defense only gave up 13 points because 7 was on a pick 6 and 3 was on a field position. It's your team. Your team gave up 23, and he's still talking post-game about, oh, yeah, well, the defense actually gave up 13. They had a great – the defense looked okay, but penalties gave them a free touchdown. They really shouldn't have had any touchdowns. Sauce should have made a catch. He can't tackle, and he has no hands. So if he wants $30 million, you can't be the number 1 corner in the league if you can't tackle and have no hands. Like, people want to compare him to Darrelle Revis. Darrelle Revis was the best tackler in the league, possibly at his position, and had ultimate hands. He was catching it on his butt multiple times, catching it on his butt, and it's just unbelievable. So that is just that was asinine. Both his in-game coaching and his just post-game. It's getting bad. It's getting bad. He said on the 4th and 1, Jake, post-game, I wrote this down. They asked him, what was your thought process? He said, we thought we'd be able to get that yard. We weren't moving the ball well. We wanted to be aggressive to get 7. He admitted we weren't moving the ball well. Getting that first down doesn't get you 7. So he makes absolutely no sense. And if Rodgers told him, no, we're going for it, I want to go for it, you say no. You're the head coach. If he can't override Rodgers there and make the smart decision for the team versus the player who's in an emotional state, like playing the game, and obviously he's going to want to go for that 9. You need to take the headset off, and while you're on offense, go talk to the defense. Go do something else. Like, if he can't say no, because that's his decision. I don't care if Rodgers wanted to go for it or not. You're the head coach. You get paid the money. You figure out when to call a timeout. God forbid, he doesn't know how to do that. But when to take 3 points, and that was just asinine. And then post game, he just, again, there's no accountability. Just, it's my fault. Like, if he just said my fault, We should have kicked it. Rodgers or looking back. If you have a Monday morning quarterback that it's better, but he just wants to say the answers that sounds good in the media, and also just on 4th and 1. Like not only Saleh, that was Hackett's play call, whoever play call that was. We had number 84 in Brendan Bates. You know who Brendan Bates is?
He's the 3rd string tight end they claimed off waivers on cutdown day.
We put Brendan. So on 4th and 1, we put it on Brendan Bates and John Simpson to make a block. You think they hit those blocks? No, they didn't. And we gave up the ball. We had Aaron Rodgers on 4th and 1. So I always thought it was a bad decision to go for it. But then you put the game in Brendan Bates' hand, who wasn't. I didn't even know he was on the roster. I had to look up who 84 was. But yeah, Dana said in chat, Bates threw two bad blocks. It's just that's bad coaching. That's just disgusting. I mean, there is still hope. Like he won a Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy, right? So it's like Mike McCarthy's proven not to be the greatest coach in the world. He can overcome coaching, but it sucks that he has to overcome coaching now. Like there's no adjustments every week. It's beyond frustrating. Lazard just tweeted out. I don't know if you saw. Lazard just tweeted out that everyone needs to calm down and they'll figure it out. Stay with them. Which I don't know. I get it. I'm picturing the players walking in to the facility on Monday and seeing 800 all gas, no brake logos. That when Robert Saleh got here, he called someone to change every fucking logo to all gas, no brakes. Like, how ridiculous does that look for? Like, what does that mean? Why did we let a head coach come in with a saying and change every single logo to all gas, no brakes?
They all do. Now, I'm not going to kill Saleh for that. Rex Ryan had play like a Jet everywhere in the Jet building on the MetLife walls. They all have their sayings and do that.
I don't know. I guess it looks corny after
when you lose, you look like a schmuck. When you win, we'd be saying if Saleh was winning, we'd be like all gas, no brakes. We'd be loving saying it.
Yeah. No. I know. Also, the frustrating thing is, it looked like we lost to Rex Ryan today. That was Flores and Rex Ryan come from a similar defensive background. That was a Rex Ryan defense. They had 7-8 guys at the line, and he said it post game. Saleh said it post game. It's really hard to run on an 8-man front when they're constantly blitzing and constantly doing but you knew this was coming. And also, Saleh, this is a league where you can steal stuff. Why don't you try some of that shit? Why don't we have the best corners in the league? Why don't you stack the box with 8? Why don't you blitz Sam Darnold? Why don't you get him off his spot? Every time Sam was 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, we were fucked. It was going to be a PI, or Justin Jefferson was going to get open because we're rushing Jalen Holmes and Eric Watts, who I don't know if they thought he was related to TJ Watt. It's just not. It was so frustrating to watch. So many times when I saw those two guys, Clemens Watts or Holmes, I would just stare at those two, and it was like watching, like a video game where they're just engaged with the block and just absolutely not doing anything. It was a incredibly frustrating day, but at the same time, it's all right in front of us. I just think if we don't clean up the defensive line, obviously the offense has to figure it out. But if we don't clean up the defensive line, how are we going to stop anyone come December, January? Even if we do somehow, hit stride at some point and offense finds a stride, it's just they need to do Hassan Reddick and more. Like that JFM loss. I was talking about you in the offseason about it, losing JFM and all these guys, and people told me about Lakey Fotu. Well, I don't think Lakey Fotu is going to solve all of our problems, but we're always playing with behind. We're getting gashed in the run game. It's the same thing every week, and then Saleh is going to tell us in the post game, we got to clean it up, and it's not acceptable, and it's terrible.
They suck,
really,
man.
There's not much to say.
They suck, man. The one thing I'll say though is I'm way more concerned about the offense than you are, because Rodgers, when he was fixing this out, he was still in his prime. And he had better coaching too, man. And Rodgers at times has shown you some greatness this year. We've seen it. Like I was at the best game I've ever seen from a Jet quarterback in person 2 weeks ago. So that's still in there, but he's taken a beating since then. They have no running game right now. I hope Morgan Moses back next week helps this running attack. I don't think that fixes everything, but it can't be worse. The accountability thing is a real thing. I think that Quincy Williams quote is eye-opening. Purple Belt Mike, this team is not a playoff team. Season's over. See, here's the problem, Mike. It's not over. It's not. Feels like it. But the Bills lost today. Jets win next week. Guess what? You're in first place. Go look at the records of teams in the AFC right now. Like, it's wild, man. Either Denver or Vegas is going to be 2-3. Cincinnati's 1-4. Miami's 2-3. New England's 1-4. Browns are 1-4. Colts are 2-3. Jaguars are 1-4. Bills are 3-2. Texans are 4-1. Chiefs are obviously undefeated. They play tomorrow night against the Saints. There's like 2 good teams in the AFC right now. 3. I would say the Chiefs, Texans, and the Ravens are very good teams. Good to very good teams. The Steelers are 3-1. I don't think they're that good. But you know what? You know what? In a year where maybe there's no great teams, here's how the Steelers probably make the playoffs because they have Mike Tomlin, and that guy wins, right? If Mike Tomlin's the Jet coach today, do they win? And I'm not saying Robert Saleh's got to be a Hall of Fame head coach, but I'm sorry, man. If you were going to lose this game today, then you needed the win last week. You know what I mean? Like, if you lost today, it'd be incredibly frustrating, but I'd be like, you know what? They're 3-2, coming home. I'm sure pissed, but I wouldn't be this pissed. I think my anger today, during these 2 hours we've been live so far, is really because it's just on top of what I saw last week. They gave you that shit sandwich last week at MetLife, and then they show up and they're down 17-0 in the first quarter today. Up in the face. Bang says, hell's frozen. Jake finally wants Salah axed. Don't put words in my mouth. I said if they lose to the Bills, I'd make a change. And I'm also, Bang, don't sit here and act like I'm a blind, solid defender. I'm not. But guess what? Just like maybe people in our country should take this into account. When you get new information, maybe your opinions change. I was never Robert Saleh's my guy. I love him. I think he's great. It was, he does some good things as a coach. I don't think he's terrible. This team won 7 games without a quarterback last year. Let's hope in year 4 he's shown some growth, and this team with way more talent than he's ever had can be better. Right now they're 2-3. It's not good enough. But don't act like I'm like, yeah, Robert Saleh is the best. No, I said it all along. If they miss the playoffs this year, and they don't, or if they don't win at least one playoff game, I wanted them out. I've said this. And I want the GM gone too. If that happens, which right now feels like it's going to happen, but it's also like, October 6th, a lot's going to change. Hopefully we're the team that gets hot and actually can win some games. Wouldn't that be nice? I can't take the pain anymore, Jake. The false hope. I think it's time to accept I've dumped my emotional health into a disaster. I get it, Jersey. I feel you, man. Try flying all the way out to see this nonsense in person. It sucks, man. It really does. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the Gus Buster hotline is someone who is a well-informed Jet fan, and he has perhaps the best hair of any Asmaniac.
Scott calling in. Ah! Whoa, what's the matter? What the hell is that?
Hello, Scott.
Hey, what's up, my man? I guess thank you for the intro. I love it. I guess we lost because you had to go to London, right? Every time you go to London.
I don't know. Well, I've never been to. I've never been to London, Scott.
Yeah, or England. I'm sorry. Like you said, it goes back from Denver to this game. Somehow, if we win next week, we're in first place because we would have won the tiebreaker with Buffalo. This offense is so inept. If you even look at like week 1 with the Rams were at Lions, you'll see different formations. You'll see personnel. You'll see the angles that receivers take. You'll see hot receivers that the quarterback, they'll shift the line to. There's receivers he can dump the ball off or just to keep the chains moving. We got about 5 plays we run. Do we actually think that every third down and short, we got to run up the A and B gaps? Do we realize you can run outside the B and C gaps? I wrote down in my notes all this shit. There's like 5 pages of it. Fuck it. It's so frustrating that each week we can't even beat a Pop Warner team with this generic defense or offense, excuse me. You had guys wide open. he can only just go from his shotgun, plan his throw it. I'm not sure if the guys are saying, hey, he's hurt, I got to adjust my route. When the ball's in the air, if you're a receiver, you adjust to where it's at, regardless of where you're supposed to be at a certain distance, a certain area. You got to read the defense and say, hey, the ball's a little short, you got to come back to it. Van Kinkel did the same thing against the Giants. That was just a bad angle. Our O-line is just missing people left and right. I mean, it's not even chipping somebody. It's not even, okay, you got a bad block, you lost. They're just coming in unscathed. There is no change in our offense whatsoever. From San Francisco, second week, they played Green Bay, the Texans, and I forget who else. They ran the same plays with Chandler, the running back. What do? They fake a jab step on the A and B gap. He bounces outside to the right-hand side. That's what you saw from that kid when he comes in. The Jefferson thing with just holding on to him, I guess it was smart because he didn't score really. The game was tight. We had chances to win. We played so bad for 2 straight weeks. It's piss poor. I'm sorry. It's not even on an NFL level, our offense, all the way around. Aaron Rodgers, the line, the receivers, there's plenty. And if you think that Hackett is running an NFL offensive scheme, show me. I can't see anything where we're doing anything right on offense. And if this continues, like you said, he's got to go. The worst. This offense is just demoralizing.
Oh, man. You're really scared of Scott.
That hair is fucking crazy.
Scott, your internet was almost as bad as the Jets' first half performance by the end there. But I appreciate it, man. I agree with you. I mean, the offense sucks. Rodgers can mask a lot of it. Some of the talent can mask a lot of it. When they add Devontae this week, which I still think is going to happen, we'll see. But, their major flaw is the coaching staff cannot be trusted. They give you moments where you're like, wow, look at that New England game. Now we're going to turn the corner. And then they follow that up with Denver and this. That's why I'm so mad. Barbarella 8-win Jet says, blame Jake for overhyping these kids who believed it. I don't think I overhyped these guys for talking about their talent. All right, was I overhyping Breece Hall when he was second in the NFL in yards from scrimmage last year? Or Garrett Wilson when he went over 1,000 yards with Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and Trevor Siemian as his quarterback last year? Don't blame me for you being an asshole. Sauce Gardner was not overhyped by anyone. He was voted first-team All-Pro back-to-back years. No one's ever done that at his position in NFL history. Don't tell me I'm overhyping these guys. You know what I am? I'm a fan of the team and was excited about the possibility of them playing on this team this year with this quarterback. Problem is, through 5 weeks, it hasn't been good enough. And thanks for the money. See ya!
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
Don't tell me I'm overhyping Sauce Gardner, who his first 2 years was first-team All-Pro. Please. How about these players just play better? Is that allowed? Coaching's a problem, but how about Breece Hall plays better? How about Sauce catches an interception that hits him in the hands in the end zone? I mean, it's enough, man. It's enough. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Mike, who's next. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Jake. How are you?
What's up, Mike?
Not much. Just on that. How you enjoying England?
Look, I want to say this. I can't say it enough. England's incredible. London's been unbelievable. I just wish that the game was obviously a different result, but everything before the game was just amazing. It's been a great couple of days.
Yeah. No, I feel like they put on a good show for you and everything. Yeah, man, like tuning in late, I'm not sure what else has been said, but as far as like the offense goes, it was just a struggle all day. Leaving the 3 points on the board, just it's unforgivable when it's that early in the game and then you have the play call where it's 3rd and 4th and you still run the ball up the middle on 2 consecutive plays.
Yep.
And listen, like I freely admit to all my friends all the time, like I don't know ball. I didn't play football at all, but hot damn, you're leaving 3 points on the board to run the ball up right up the gut with our team that's been struggling to run the ball that entire game. It's tough to watch. And then just, getting those points right before the first half, it starts to give you hope. And you're in the game, you're watching. And then the second half comes, and the defense is playing lights out. They're playing great. We have our penalties. We have everything else that's going up against us. But, just the fact that we can't establish anything on offense. Like Mike Williams all day, like on the 50-50 balls on 3rd downs when we need like a tough conversion, like where were those throws?
They ignored him for most of the game. I was saying to my friend Anthony, who was sitting next to me today in the game, like, are they going to even look at Mike Williams? Like, and he wasn't even out there on 1st and 2nd down a lot of times too, which drove me crazy.
And then even on that 4th down where like we didn't go for 3, Garrett Wilson's like not on the field. Are you just trying to give in and just be like, yeah, we're running the ball, like come at us?
Yep.
So, there's that thing. There's that sense from the offense where, as far as like Hackett's running it, it's nothing where it's individual, it's inspired. And then, unfortunately, like it's come to effect for the defense too. Like it's been blitzing 4. We're not getting to the quarterback ever. And like, it's just been tough where you're leaving our guys in coverage for so long. And like, it sucked watching Sauce get injured for a little bit, but like, no blitzes, no nothing. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, we're watching, Minnesota line up with like 9, 10, 11 guys in the line of scrimmage and throw in some blitzes, throw in some different looks. And like, we don't get that. It's not on defense. It's not on offense. Like, it's just, it always just feels like the same stagnant kind of thing week in, week out. And that's where I think it's just tough to watch. Like, listen, like I'm a weekly watcher. I'm in there all the time. I'll be there at Pittsburgh, but it's like, hot damn, like throw me something different. Like we've been watching the same crap for years. Like, and just the overall final point, like we got Aaron Rodgers, so we didn't have to watch this for 4 quarters. Like I've been struggling through Jets offenses for a decade. Like this was supposed to be an answer to finding Garrett Wilson, finding Mike Williams, finding Tyler Conklin, finding Alan Lazard, and like just not having him having brick hands. Like, that's the part that's tough. Like, just watching these games day in, day out. So
it's supposed to be different, Mike. Yeah, that's what I said at the top. Appreciate your call. Great mustache, by the way. Tremendous stash. It's just, it was supposed to be different, man. And so far through 5 weeks, it hasn't. What's crazy is they still have every goal they want right in front of them. I don't have a whole lot of faith in them figuring it out right now. I need to see it. But they win on Monday. They're in first place. Like the AFC is not great this year. But and no one wants to hear that right now, so I'm not even gonna say it. I don't know. They could lose to anyone with the way they played right now. They lost to Bo Nix last week. Enough said. Mr. Reality isn't all pro a popularity contest, Jake. Come on. Mr. Reality. No. I think you're just trying to troll me, so it's not gonna work. I'm gonna calmly respond to your asinine point here. No, all pro is not the Pro Bowl, which is voted on by fans. All pros voted on people who cover the NFL. A popularity contest. I would like to do this though, because I still think you're a troll.
Just shut the fuck up. I did not ask for the dumb opinion that came out of your ass, so shut the fuck up.
Brutal. Couple more calls and then I gotta pack, eat, cry, all of it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob. Plus.
Jake, how you doing?
Not good, Bob. How are you?
No, I know what everybody was saying. You had to see Nate. He was pissed. Okay, I'm pissed off at Salah. I give you reasons why, okay? I remember when he was the defensive coach on the 49ers, okay? He got so excited when his players, like, made good plays, right? So he'll come out, give them a headbutt and all that. Okay, he's on the sideline doing this all game, chewing his gum, not doing shit, with a finger up his butt, you know? So we got to get rid of him. He's not good. I think if you make Olbrich the coach, then what's the guy who works with Olbrich, you said?
Robert Saleh?
No, get rid of him. No. Olbrich. Who's the other guy you said? Witherspoon? What's his name?
Witherspoon? No, I didn't say anyone.
No, the other guy you mentioned today. But who's the other assistant coach, defense coach?
I don't know. Aaron Whitecotton.
Yeah, make him the defensive coach then. Yeah,
Okay.
Get rid of Salah. Get rid of Waterboy. Get rid of Hackett. He sucks.
Ron Middleton, Bobby, the tight ends coach.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, Ron
He has to
Middleton.
work with Olbrich though. He's the tight ends coach / assistant head coach.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, maybe I made a mistake. But no, it's so frustrating just see him sitting on the sideline doing nothing. Then I agree with you with what's his name? He had the ball right in his hand and he dropped it. I could have caught that ball right in my hands, you know. Everybody was saying that on my channel. And right in the hands and he dropped it. Can I tell you a fun story though?
Sure.
I leave. Last night I was on my show, right? So you know Rob V? You know Rob V, right? That
Yeah.
calls in. Well, he was heading to where I lived in Glen Oaks, okay? So he went to the door where I lived and he knocked and nobody was there, okay? I told him to go next door. Chris Finnegan should be there. And as soon as he walked up the little way, he saw Chris Finnegan. And he was on my show for like 45 minutes last night.
Who's Chris Finnegan?
Remember the story I told you about the guy and my other friend that played poker with Joyce? Remember that story?
No, I don't.
They kicked me out of the kitchen because I was too young. You never remember that story?
I don't think you told this story on my show.
Oh, I thought I told you. Okay, so then he's the one that, but he's one of my best friends, and he was on my show last night. Isn't that amazing?
That's awesome.
Well, see, I got you to laugh. See, now we got you to laugh. All right, woo, let's clap for Jake. Michael says hello.
Hi, Michael.
He's not very happy either. He was calling me constantly, but he is pissed. But like we were so happy when Houston Texans won the game today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see? You didn't see any game, but you know what the Raven game? What happened there?
No, I haven't seen it. I mean, I know the Ravens won in overtime.
Yeah, but the quarterback. What's his name? Quarterback.
Lamar?
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. Like they, did a bad. The ball was dropped on the ground. He picked it up, then he ran, and he was running around. Then he throws it in the end zone, touchdown. He was amazing. Nobody got to him, nobody. It was amazing. He's like, and then you know who else is? I think the Kansas City Chiefs are the luckiest team ever. We had like on my show, they were saying somebody said they were having the referees from the Kansas City Chiefs game because they stink. They do.
Yeah, well, I think all the refs stink, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because they don't. It's ridiculous. Some of those pass interference calls were not, and the Jets got a few pass interference weren't called for them. So that game really sucked. And then that fourth down, third down, I agree. They should have went for the field goal, not fourth down and 8. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I wanted to tell you that story. I made you laugh at least.
You did make me laugh, Bobby. It was an electric story.
I know. I was so excited. It was crazy. Then Rob V is going to play poker with Chris every month now.
The great Chris. What's his name again? Chris who?
Finnegan.
Chris Finnegan, everybody. One of the greats.
Yes, he is. You got to go back and watch my show from last night, okay?
All right.
So you have a great night. Have a good, safe travel. I hope you make it to New York safe. You should. And Pippo, cheerio.
Hey, if I don't make it, will you host the show in my absence?
Yeah, if you need help, you sound like you're losing your voice. If you need help, I will help you. Okay.
I'm losing everything. I'm losing my
Your
voice,
mind, your
my
mind,
my pride, my dignity, my
and
happiness.
your mind, and your
Yep.
mind. So if you need help, I will help you talk. If you have to do super chats or anything else, okay? Just
You want to help me right now?
Yeah, what? You need something?
Well, yeah, you could read the super chat here from Steven.
Okay, Steven, you skipped my $20 super chat. Okay, you got that?
All right, here's a super chat. Go ahead.
Same basic run over the right over and over hasn't gained over a yard for 2 games. And most of the season, as soon as they in any rhythm go back to what never worked. Down what? 2 scores in the fourth. No hurry up. I know. Read that. Yeah, they were pathetic. I agree with that.
You got it, Bobby. You got to lift your head up. Your hat is covering your. The super
Oh,
chat's
I'm
in your
sorry,
face.
guys. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Okay, so everything. Yeah. That anybody else? You need something else?
No, that's it. Great job. I'll handle the rest. I appreciate it.
Well, if you need help tomorrow, I will help you. Okay.
All right.
Just
Thank you,
give me a ring. I'll be there.
You got it. Thanks, Bob. Love you.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a great, safe trip. I love you.
You too, Bob. Love it.
Well, you know I have my own YouTube show. If I'm awake, I'm going live. But Les Jake has a show. Bobby.
The last part of Steven's super chat here, I said in the stands ad nauseum. The only time this offense showed anything in that first half was on the 4-minute drive at the end where they capped it with the Lazard touchdown. Why don't they do tempo to start the third quarter? I should have said this earlier, but my mind is so effed right now, I forgot. I knew this game was done when they got the ball at the 40-yard line to start the third quarter and they went 3 and out. First drive of the third quarter. That's what they came out with out of the half, right? I think there was a block in the back penalty on the kickoff. They started the ball at the 40-yard line to begin that drive. 3 and out. This offense is just not good enough. Axios, Super Chat. Last chance to get in. Super Chat's going to the best fish and chips I could find as soon as the show is over. Because I legit have not had anything to eat since like 10 a.m. today. I'm starving. I said it before all last year. Offensive line coach Carter's crap. He needs to go. Can Lazard show up ready for a game? Maybe he can borrow someone's hands. You know, it's crazy. Lazard's the only receiver that has chemistry with Aaron Rodgers, but he doesn't catch anything that's thrown at him. It's unreal, man. Jetpack, who I met last night. At least I met the GOAT this weekend. Jetpack, you're the man. Jetpack, by the way. So Wayne Corbett came to the party last night, and Jetpack was wearing a Wayne Corbett jersey. And he was a little timid to go up to Wayne to get a picture, and I encouraged him to do it. And he did. And got the picture taken. So there you go, Jetpack. It was great to meet you, though, man. Jetpack lives in Nashville, so at least he got to see the Jets win in person in week 2. His follow-up super chat. My voice is gone and I'm sad. I'm on the plane back to Tennessee. Oh, on the plane back to Tennessee, 24 hours of travel to watch Rodgers throw 3 picks. Shake my head. Do we suck? I think the Jets suck, but I think a lot of the teams in the AFC suck. The Bills might suck too. Now, I think they're better than the Jets right now. But I think I saw this in the chat. Josh Allen was 9 of 30 today in this loss to the Texans. Like, they got problems too, man. Look at the Bills wins this year. Who have they played? Josh Allen was 9 of 30 for 131 yards. Wow. He sucked. Did have 54 rushing yards, but still. How did that happen? I didn't get to see any of the games today. That's the other part about being in London, being at this game. I mean, the Bills this year beat the Cardinals, who stink, the Dolphins, who stink, and the Jaguars, who stink. They've lost to the Ravens and the Texans, who I think are, with the Chiefs, the top 3 teams in the AFC. I think we suck as Jet fans. Like, the Jets suck. We don't suck as fans. The fan base is the best part about this franchise by far. But I don't think the Bills are that good. So right now I wouldn't pick the Jets to win on Monday, but I wouldn't be shocked if they did. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. And they've beaten the Bills the last 2 times they played them at MetLife. So can I make it 3? Genergy with a super sticker. Genergy. I have a Jake Asman sticker back here. We'll make sure to give you one next time I see you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob mentioned this man earlier. JJ is on the line. Hello, JJ.
What's going on, my friend? How you doing?
I'm miserable, man, but you know that.
Well, I will say this, man. When you're in the NFL, coaching matters, right? And you used to always say this. The only difference between DeMeco Ryans and Robert Saleh is the quarterback. But I used to try to tell you, man, there's alarming things that this coaching staff does, and there's more of a difference there. The Texans are a well-coached team. The Jets are not. And particularly, this frustrating part about all this is that, the thought process was all we need is a quarterback, and that will save all of our problems. But it doesn't. And Aaron Rodgers is not absolved of blame. Like, you can't have the ball in your hands 2 weeks in a row with the chance to win the game and not show up. I mean, my God, this guy, I don't get it. Like, and I understand, him and Mike Williams weren't on the same page, but whether they were on the same page on that throw or not, that's not even a the back shoulder throw. Like, he threw it right at Stephon Gilmore. Like, even if Mike Williams could look at it, it was an inside ball. So it was a bad throw regardless, and people are going to talk and blame this and blame that. But at the end of the day, we have a bad head coach. We have an old, washed-up, 40-year-old quarterback. I don't know
if he's washed up. I mean, that's a little strong.
Let me tell you something. On that play where he took the sack from Harrison Smith, he had Tyler Conklin wide open, right? And I'm not trying to tell Aaron Rodgers how to play quarterback, but at the same time, he saw the blitz coming. He knows it's coming from the pressure's coming from the left side. Like, basic football tells you, hey, your hot read is right there. Hit Tyler Conklin, and he didn't. And I don't think that he didn't do it because of any other reason than he's just old and he's washed up and he's not thinking as sharp as he used to. I hate to say it, but it's like, let's look at the last since week 1 till now, Aaron Rodgers has not looked good. I mean, I guess you can give me New England, but other than that,
that's kind of a big deal, though, man. Like, I think you're look. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you played well today. He obviously didn't, but
he threw 3 interceptions today. Like,
once again, I'm going to repeat what I just said. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he played well today. He obviously didn't. But I think when you call him washed up, I mean, we're 2 games removed from him going out there against a very good defense and slicing them up. So I think we got to see.
Who's a very good defense? New England, who just lost to the Dolphins without a quarterback?
I mean,
come on,
they allowed what, 15 points? Is that bad?
They allowed 15 points to Tyler Huntley. Our defense is supposedly good, and we allowed 10 points to Bo Nix. So, I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at this team, I know we like Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, he was great in the second half. He was 5 for 5 on the game-winning drive, made some big throws. Like, he had a bad game today. I don't know. I think calling him washed is a little strong, but whatever. You want to be negative today? Like, they suck. I'm not going to defend it. Just continue.
All I'm saying is, actually, I want to go back, right? I remember when we had Joe Flacco, and you were literally on here every week saying we're rolling out the corpse of Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco just threw 3 touchdowns this week, and he just threw 2 touchdowns last week, right? So, and at the time, you guys were saying, hey, Joe Flacco sucks, Joe Flacco this, Joe Flacco that, if we had a competent quarterback. Well, Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be a competent quarterback, and Joe Flacco looks better than him. I remember last year, you guys were saying, hey, we're glad we didn't get Derek Carr. Derek Carr, so far, has looked, all these other quarterbacks have looked better than Aaron Rodgers so far this year. So all I'm saying is
there's more to it than just that. Obviously, the concerns that you had about the coach are right now. There's do you want your victory lap? Like, yeah, you're probably going to end up being right.
But here's the thing. I'm not even talking about the coach. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. I could easily come on here and be like, guys, I told you so. I just put it right there. JJ warned us about Saleh, and I left it at that. I'm not even going on a tangent about how bad Saleh was, and I told you guys. Now I'm trying to tell you guys, wake up and look. Aaron Rodgers, he ain't it this year. I'm sorry to tell you. We're 5 games in, and I've seen enough to say.
But here's my question to you, right? what do you think he is? Okay, he's not the MVP of the league, but the whole premise of the season was he would have a very good run game. Breece Hall would be what Terrell Davis was, the John Elway at the end of his career. He wouldn't have to throw 54 times in a game and be hit. Oh, what? He's been sacked now 9 times the last 2 games?
Yeah, Keith, and that's another thing. Keith Carter, the O-line coach, is terrible. We should have got rid of him. Nathaniel Hackett is terrible. We should have got rid of him. But now, if you want to have one takeaway from this JJ call, guys, everybody in the chat, the one takeaway you should realize is we have a terrible coaching staff, including Keith Carter, including Nathaniel Hackett. We have an old QB who's not good enough to compensate for the terrible coaching staff. That at the end of the day, that's what we're dealing with right now. Aaron Rodgers is not good enough to compensate for the terrible coaching staff that we have in place. So with that being said, we can still possibly make it into the wild card because, to your point, the AFC is not the greatest this year. But if things don't change fast and in a hurry, then we're not going to make the wild card either. And we got to stop just holding on to hope. Just open up our eyes and call a spade a spade. Aaron Rodgers ain't it this year. So far, he hasn't been it. He had one good game in 5 weeks.
AJ, what are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting fire the head coach.
To start?
No, fire the head coach. Get rid of Nathaniel Hackett. Bring in someone competent, and let's see what we can do here.
How are you bringing in someone in season to be the head coach of the team? It's going to be someone on the staff.
No, it would be. You can fire Robert Saleh and promote Jeff Ulbrich to head coach, and then have one of these offensive guys who are not on a roster right now come in and help us out. There's guys around the league that can do a much better job.
You're not bringing anyone in season. That never happens. What they would do is they would fire Saleh. They would make Middleton or Ulbrich the interim head coach.
I'm saying you can bring somebody to help out your offensive staff during the season. You can bring other people in. You can bring guys that are sitting at home right now.
Give me an example. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, but
John Gruden.
I don't think that's been an example of that ever happened. Like there's nothing to point to for that. That doesn't happen.
What I'm saying, John Gruden ain't doing nothing right now. He's
on YouTube. The NFL. No one's hiring him right now.
Okay. What do you suggest then, Jake? Tell me what you suggest. You suggest that we keep doing this because you've been telling us to keep doing this. You've been saying stick with Saleh. All he needs is a quarterback for the last 3 years. So at least I'm just trying to come up with a solution. What do you suggest? Because this ain't working.
You've been on hold a while. You were watching the show. I told you I would fire Robert Saleh if they lose the Bills game on Monday night. That's where I'm at right now.
All right, but then what do we do at that point? Because I'm saying the same
I would
thing.
make either Jeff Ulbrich or Ron Middleton the head coach. I said it already. I don't know what more you want me to say.
Yes, but then we also have to bring somebody else in to help out the offense. I don't know who, but we
promote from within. You promote from within. You hope that when John Gruden got fired by Vegas, no one who Rich Bisaccia was. He was their special teams coordinator. He became the head coach. They went on a run. They made the playoffs that year. You don't bring someone else in.
Okay.
Who are you bringing in? Belichick? Mike Vrabel?
I'm not saying bringing a new offensive coordinator. I'm saying bringing somebody on the offensive staff to help out the offense because everybody in the offensive room right now ain't doing a good job. So my fear is if we promote within and hire Jeff Ulbrich and just leave the staff as if
you want Adam Gase? He's available. You want to bring him in?
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. If we had Adam Gase, at least I know we'll sorry for cursing, we'll probably score a touchdown on the first drive.
I agree.
At least he'll give us that.
I suggested Gase being flown out to be at this game today, and he would be the honorary captain, so Sam would see some ghosts of the pregame. I suggested this.
We're on the same page as if we lose to the Bills, fire the head coach.
I wanted to give Saleh a chance because we didn't have a choice. He's not the guy. I feel that way right now. I hope he proves me wrong. I hope they win on Monday night and they're in first place. But right now, I think you make a lot of good points, but I think you're a little too crazy with your Rodgers opinion today. And I think your idea of you bring someone in, you're not giving me an example of who. John Gruden's not good enough. He's suing the NFL. No one's hiring him right now.
I don't know. I'm sure there's some offensive guy that's not in the league right now, or I don't know. But I will say this though, I don't know everybody. I don't know. I gotta do some more research, Jake. I'll have a name for you tomorrow. I'll call in the show tomorrow. I do want to make one more point though. I mean, if you look at must-win games, whenever the Jets have a must-win game, we get our ass beat. We get blown out. So to be honest with you, this is a must-win game against the Bills, and it's for first place. So I think we're probably just going to get beat really badly. And as a season ticket holder who every year has to pay more and more for their seats, it's pissing me off because why do I have to pay more? Why do I have to pay more when the team sucks?
and we're worse now than we were last year. And then they raised my seats by, I think it was like $200 per seat. So I don't understand it. I'm a pissed off fan. If you guys want to know why I'm so negative, it's because I spend money on this team every year for nothing, every single year for nothing. So something eventually has to give. Thank God for the Mets, because if it wasn't for that, I don't know what I'd be doing today, because my whole morning was ruined. I just been a miserable person. But anyways, let's go Jets, let's go Mets, and hopefully we get it done against the Bills.
JJ, all the love. I really do like JJ. And he's right with a lot there. It's just like the bringing someone like, no, you'd fire the head coach and you'd promote from within. I'm not going to tell JJ not to be negative. No way. No way. This was a horseshit performance. And, JJ, you spent a lot of money on season tickets. I spent a lot of money to come out here to London, as did a lot of people. And it was bullshit. What do you think, Scott? You look good. You really do. You look good. All right, hit the like button on your way out of here. I appreciate everyone. We're in this together. You guys are great. Tom Ace with, I think, one of the best points I've seen in the chat. Wish these problems happened last year with a healthy Rodgers. The mulligan year prolongs the inevitable. Yeah, and Rodgers is a year older now, too. The one thing I will strongly push back with Jay, I think calling Aaron Rodgers washed is a little much. He took a beating today, man. Threw 54 times. He wasn't good. I'm not going to defend him. He had a bad game. At least he owned it afterwards, unlike this head coach. But, we're 2 games removed from him being surgical on Thursday night, leading a game-winning drive the previous week in Tennessee. I didn't think he was bad week 1 either. They just didn't have the ball a lot that night. They got gashed in the ground game. But today was bad, man. Today, when Aaron Rodgers had the ball, when they were down, I looked at, the people I was watching the game with, and I said, well, holy shit, this is the moment. As bad as they played, this is – how many times have we seen Aaron Rodgers do this with Green Bay? Right? Louis, 3 timeouts, 4 minutes. Well, it might have been less than that. 3 timeouts, it was maybe 3 minutes because they had the 2-minute warning. Down 6, you need 7, and they were 20 yards away. Sucks. Yeah, it all started with that Denver game, though, man. Now they got to win on Monday night. Will they win? I wouldn't pick them right now, but it's been a weird year in the NFL. I don't know. Today sucked, though. What didn't suck is this weekend in London. This is my final show that we will do. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in over the last couple days. Thanks to all the new listeners of the show we've gained since being out here. I'll be back tomorrow at some point in the afternoon. I have a flight London time at 7 tomorrow. I land in New York at 10:30. So I'm going back in time. I leave when it's Monday morning. I come back and it's Monday morning. So that we'll do a show at some point in the afternoon. Benigno will be on with us on Tuesday. Film review, likely Tuesday afternoon with Fialco. I'll connect with him. That does it for me. I hope everyone enjoys the games today. I know it's still the afternoon in the U.S., but here it's almost 11, and I'm shot. I gave it my all today. Wish the Jets did as well. Thank you all. Like the video. Once again, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Gangrene UK again. Everyone involved, all the great fans out here. It really is amazing. The Jets do not deserve how great they have it with this fan base. They don't. I've said this a lot on the show. I've never been more steadfast in that belief. Just incredible the amount of people we met from different countries who watch this show, love the Jets. Amazing. You guys are the greatest. You deserve more. I'll talk to you guys stateside tomorrow afternoon. JETS. Hold on, let me make sure I didn't miss the super chats. Oh, JJ at the buzzer. Here we go. Thank God I looked. Also, where's Dre and Hennessy, Heisman, and Neil Bonesy defending solid out? Please speak up. Jetpack, super chat here. The show will never end, man. Love you, Jetpack. It was honestly great meeting you at the Hippodrome. Made my trip worth it. You're the boss. Jetpack, you're the man, dude. Good to meet you. And I think it was your brother. It was either your brother or cousin. I think it was your brother. Nice to meet him. Gator with the last word here. Jets record the same or better than Miami, Cincinnati, Colts, Titans, Chargers, Dallas, Eagles. Is it over for them? I can't ever believe we could be in first place after Monday night. Ridiculous. It's a weird year, man. Hey, safe travels to everyone who's out here who's traveling also. If you're in London, I'll probably stop by Hippodrome tonight to watch some of the games. We'll see. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. JETS, Jets. Hey, went on Monday. We're in first place. Positive spin.